Outside in the warm Miami air, winds will turn to me.
What was your name again, kid?
It's still Heller. Nathan S. Heller.
Aren't you gonna spell it?
Look, I don't want to be in your story.
Good, because you're not. You're Chicago, right?
Born and bred.
What do you make of that, in that cell back there?
You're in New York. What do you make of it?
It's horseshit. I think that little bastard hit Cermak. I think he thinks he's dying from that stomach of his, and the mobsters probably promised to support his family back in Italy in return for him taking Tony out, and for his silence. What do you think?
I think you're right on the money. But if you print it, nobody will believe a word.
What's the guy to do? Bullshit they'll believe. Take it from me. Facts only bore 'em.
Hey, let's get media. Nope, let's get physical media. Okay, that's a funny name. Okay, I'm Breck. I directed The Crazies, and I'm really excited that we're coming to physical media with a new HDR transfer this spring. Check it out. All right. Hey, let's get physical media. I'm so glad there are fans of actually buying DVDs out there. I'm really excited that Crazies will be coming with a new HDR transfer to physical media, to 4K and HDR, ready to show you guys. So check it out. That was terrible. Hey, let's get physical media. So happy that there are fans of the Crazies out there and fans that are gonna buy the physical disc. We're doing a new HDR transfer, which I'm thrilled to be putting out there, and I hope you guys will check it out.
Well, greetings, imagination connoisseurs. Once again, it is I, your Pharaoh. Pharaoh Physical Media, that's right. Been gone for a week. I bet you've missed me. Robert Meyer Burnett here with Let's Get Physical Media, episode 214. I don't know. I was in Atlanta. You know, what can I say? Enjoying Georgia. I kid you not, I was in Cumming, Georgia. That's right, Cumming, Georgia. I was inside Cumming, Georgia. I was at the courthouse. I was being an expert witness on a case about the Axstar fan film. And what was really funny is that an Eisner-winning, BAFTA-nominated Paul Jenkins was being accused of not being a good producer by somebody who hasn't produced a fan film in 10 years. The whole thing was worthy of a Paddy Chayefsky comedy. Let me tell you, you look up who Paddy Chayefsky was. You should go see his movies. We got one coming out next month from the Criterion Collection, one that he disowned. But I digress, because you can listen to me ramble on all you want, and you're thinking one thing. We didn't come here to listen to this. We don't care what you did this week. We don't even care why you haven't been around. All we know is you have not been entertaining us via observations, so we come here to be entertained. But not by you. I know. You come here to be entertained by the German, by the man who every week, no matter what goes on in his life, he's worked at the same job for 40 years. This is the only happiness he has in his entire fucking life, right? Well, he doesn't. That's probably not true. I'm just saying that to bolster myself. You know him. You love him. He comes to you every week from Saarbrücken, Deutschland. Mr. Dieter Bastian.
And people, I have good news for you. After we have all that coverage back in the day in April from the Bad Canadian King and Rob about CinemaCon and what's coming out, the weekend is finally here. The movie Rob is waiting for, that stood head and shoulders above even Project Hail Mary, is finally coming out. And I'm talking about Gabby Stollhouse. And I say, greetings, imagination connoisseurs, Dieter here. Yeah, I'm Rocky like again, and welcome to the B&B Motel for Let's Get Physical Media. And Rob, Gabby Stollhouse has finally arrived, you know, because I remember back from CinemaCon, like myself, you said, I have no idea what Gabby Stollhouse actually is.
And you know?
Not now, Rob. I have no idea.
Really? Well, That's. I was hoping you would have
It's
gone
only
to see it.
the second big movie that opened this week.
Wow, Gabby's. I have to say I didn't know what it was then. I don't know what it is now. So I clearly was not clocking any of this. Now I feel terrible. I think there was a test. I wish I knew there was a test, but I failed. Either way, I failed.
Yeah.
I failed you. I failed the fans. I failed everyone.
Have you seen the big one from this weekend?
I have
one battle
not. I'm
after
seeing
another?
it tomorrow because I
Me
was
neither.
gone.
I hope I will see it Tuesday.
You know who's seen it? Thomas Logan. And he's going on and on and
Yeah,
on about
I know.
how great it is.
In VistaVision, Rob.
In VistaVision. So, would you like to know how the box office went this weekend? Well,
Obviously, Rob.
let's start with international. Nancy Tartaglione
Oh,
says, One Battle After Another scores a $48.5 million global opening. That is the biggest ever for Paul Thomas Anderson, amid many overseas bests. Demon Slayer Infinity Castle tops 600 million worldwide. So let's see what we got going on here. Sorry, with the time zone change when I had to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, I came back with a bit of a cold, I have to say. So what can I say? So let me read this. We don't actually have all the numbers in here, but Nancy Tartaglione says, Paul Thomas Anderson's One Battle After Another came out swinging with a 48.5 million global start, the biggest of the iconic filmmaker's career. Included in the worldwide total, the Leonardo DiCaprio star from Warner Brothers grossed 26.1 million in 74 international markets, slightly higher than the pre-opening projection. This is also Paul Thomas Anderson's biggest launch weekend in 68 of those overseas markets, including France, Germany, Italy, UK, Australia, Brazil, and Mexico. Overall, overseas and like-for-like likes, using today's exchange rates, the film is tracking above Argo, Sinners, Killers of the Flower Moon, and The Departed. That's pretty good. Regionally, One Battle After Another is Paul Thomas Anderson's best opening across Europe. Note that in France, the movie has a fantastic 4.7 out of 5 stars with critics and 4.1 with audiences on Allocine. And Latin America. In 6 Latin American markets, it's already Anderson's highest grossing title ever. Overall, the top 5 openers are the UK, France, Germany, Italy, and Saudi Arabia. Set for release are Korea, Japan, and Turkey in October. And in IMAX, the global take was 7.5 million, including 2.9 million from 376 overseas screens. Meanwhile, the Japanese juggernaut Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba Infinity Castle continued its charge this weekend, crossing 600 million worldwide to become the 8th biggest movie of the year. Per Sony, the global cume is 605.4 million through Sunday. Of the total, 305.4 million is from Crunchyroll's Sony markets. Infinity Castle added 19.2 million this weekend, including 12.1 million from 62 overseas markets. So that is, how great is that?
Yeah.
Great. It's great stuff. Now let's go check out the domestic box office. Domestic meaning here in the States. This comes from Anthony D'Alessandro. One Battle After Another is at 22 million. It reps a record debut for Paul Thomas Anderson, and it's Leonardo DiCaprio's 11th movie to open to $20 million. So now, while this breaks Warner Brothers' streak of opening number one movies to $40 million, it is their 8th number one in a row release. That's pretty amazing. So you go, Warner Brothers. But now you talked about Gabby's Dollhouse. It earned $13.7 million. So, excuse me, it's a girl brand, and I've never heard of a girl brand, but it has a lifetime of 4 million dollhouses that have been sold. In terms of brand partnerships, there were Lego sets inspired by the film, a team up with the Girl Scouts for a PSA, and a limited edition patch, Gabby-themed home chef meal boxes. I don't know anything about Gabby's Dollhouse. I don't have, young kids.
Yeah.
Lionsgate's horror movie Strangers Chapter 2 coming at us from Roy Lee, open
Rennie.
to 5.9 million. Rennie Harlan? So here we go. One Battle After Another, 22.4 million. Gabby's Dollhouse at 13.7 million. Demon Slayer at 7.1 million. The Conjuring Last Rites for a total of 161.4 million. The Strangers Chapter 2 opened with 5.9 million. Him has made 20.7 million, and for a movie that people don't like very much, that's amazing. The Long Walk's domestic total is 28.8 million. Pretty good for a movie that only costs $20 million. Downton Abbey, the grand finale, is now at 39 million domestic. Spider-Man, they re-released Spider-Man from 2002 and 2004. So I guess that would be Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2. They made 2.25 million this weekend in the top 10.
Not bad.
And they call him OG, has made 5 million. And Big Bold Beautiful Journey, not doing well at 5.9 million. Dead of Winter, which I've heard is very, very good. Made 1.5 million. And Eleanor the Great, which is ScarJo's directorial debut, made at 892 theaters, 935K. But I've heard the movie's wonderful. So I'd like to see a better opening for ScarJo, but that's where we're at. That's the world that we live in. I apologize, people. Did you just freeze? I think Dieter just froze.
I was dropping out. I'm back. I'm hopefully back.
You're back, buddy.
Yeah.
But you froze at the perfect moment. I mean, I hope somebody. I'm sorry we weren't full frame on you, because that could have been a meme. You could have added anything to that.
I don't know if everyone heard it already. What I was saying was, I was very happy to hear Rob on Film Thread Versus and the John Gambia show mentioning Demon Slayer, Infinity Castle being the first of a trilogy of movies. Nice knowledge. Do
you know why people knew that? Because of you. Because of you, Dietz, all the way from Saarbrücken, Deutschland. You give not just my life meaning, but everybody's meaning. Everybody's life meaning.
We try to have a nice balance here.
It's true. That's what we do. We're all about balancing. Something I've never done in my life, so how would I know?
So I think, Rob, other than that, Rob, the only thing that I watched digitally or finished this week was, of course, Alien Earth. And what should I say, Rob? What a letdown. What a letdown, considering the last episode. And even before that, diving off a cliff, I have no idea what to say about Alien Earth. I have no idea. The only thing that I can say, Rob, that I even put in a comment on my Instagram post about the show today. One of my axioms, Rob, when it comes to movie or TV show reviewing, even subjectivity has its limits, you know? That's all I'm going to say about that. But Alien Earth,
even subjectivity has its limits. I love that.
Yeah.
Everyone take note of that. The Bastian axiom. Yeah. Even subjectivity has its limits.
Has its limits. Yeah.
You know, I got a really interesting, very insightful letter that I'll read on the next observations about Alien Earth. And you know, I really like Noah Hawley as a writer. I really enjoyed what he did with Legion, which is a really interesting take on an X-Men character. I thought that was really pretty good. I honestly think that as a genre, you can now look at various. We have some decent science fiction programming on TV. You could call Severance sci-fi. You have Invasion over on Apple Plus for All Mankind. The third season of Foundation was really wonderful because they're taking two different Isaac Asimov mythologies, the Foundation mythology and his robot mythology, and intertwining them, which I think is fantastic. But Alien Earth was a series that I thought had way too many ideas and none of them were really paid off or examined in I mean, look, the idea of artificial life, the idea of creating synth bodies, android bodies, that kind of goes all the way back to Fritz Lang's Metropolis. And of course, in literature, it's been dealt with 4 ways till Sunday in science fiction literature over the last 100 years. And, you know, in Ridley Scott obviously started the whole modern trend in, I think, Blade Runner. Can artificially created synthetic people, do they have souls? And that's really what it comes down to. And then this show, there's synths, there's hybrids, there's cyborgs, you know, and of course the Japanese in animation have been dealing with this for quite some time. I just felt everything was sort of half-baked. And at the same time, you had this really interesting, I mean, are aliens and alien life forms not enough? I mean, what was really interesting to me is here you have this eyeball, you know, Oculus or Ocellus, whatever they called it, which clearly turns out to be intelligent. So once you know a creature is intelligent, why wouldn't you do something with it and immediately pivot? You now have a life form that isn't just an animal. It displayed knowledge of mathematics. And then, you know, that alone would make me suddenly realize, okay, this creature, and the thing is, what I didn't like about this is just because it's a disembodied eyeball with tentacles, the interesting route would have been to go, here's a really obviously intelligent creature, but all the show did was make it evil. Like, why was it evil? Like, and I was like, okay, if you're the smartest person in the world, if you're boy cavalier, kid cavalier, I don't know what you're doing being cavalier, but whatever. So if you're as smart as this, wouldn't you take an alien life form that's intelligent, immediately isolate it, and bring in astrophysicists or scientists that could suddenly start communicating with this thing and find out what it knows? I mean, that alien would have become the most valuable. I mean, we finally found intelligent life off the planet that knows math. And yet we just it just stays a monster. And I'm like, how do you not follow up on that? Because there could have been something really interesting. That's just one of 100 things that bothered me about this show. Yeah. So,
especially in the end, Rob, it can overtake a dead body even. You know, that made no sense to me. But
well, no, because nobody thinks now. It's my problem with so much televised science fiction is it's all commingled now with fantasy. You know, you have to believe that it's you can. You know, I always say that there has to be people will accept like one big ask, and when you have a show like this, all the different parts of the show get an ask. And if you have a creature that can get into someone else's body, you have to make sure there are rules for that creature. Like maybe it's brief inhabiting of that engineer character from the beginning of the series allowed it to understand our language in a rudimentary way. But going into dead bodies, that's supernatural. It's silly to say, but you've got to have rules so people can. They have a framework with which to follow the story that you're telling. And this show, I don't think, understood the concepts that it's dealing with. And I find that to be the case with a lot of science fiction that isn't. Half the science fiction on TV are they want it to be fantasy like Star Trek. They've turned a science fiction show into a fantasy show, and it's unwatchable to me. And the same is true. I mean, they don't. Where Severance went, I don't know if that was totally satisfying, but Alien Earth was like 10,000 ideas in search of a good one. And there was, and then
like you said, way too many asks.
way too many asks, and the people were stupid.
Yeah.
Like you want to watch, you know, one of the things that I've been saying about the original Alien, Ridley Scott's first Alien, is you basically have these blue collar oil workers that get thrown into this situation. They have no weapons. They're not trained for it, but they're smart. You know, they make motion trackers, and Yaphet Kotto's character makes flamethrowers, and they've got the little, you know, the sticks. And so they do the electric cattle prods. They're not dumb people, even though they're blue collar workers, and they do the smartest things that they can possibly do, except maybe when Parker goes off in search of the cat. But they have to have somebody die. But you watch this, and you really want these characters to win because they're smart. But you know that they're facing something that they're ill-equipped to face, and they don't have they don't have anything. They don't have any armament or armor. There's nothing that they can defend against this truly alien.
They don't know anything about that creature. You know?
Nothing. So, and it's something that it really represents the cosmic infinitude of the universe, that sort of Lovecraftian idea of the old gods that live beyond our understanding. And that's what makes the alien creature so interesting. And now the alien's just a fucking dog. So why would a newborn alien be able to communicate with any kind of language with a human being? How would it even know language? It doesn't have like its mother to teach it. I mean, whatever. It was frustrating. I mean, I have to say that I was mildly entertained by the show.
Certainly, but on another level, Rob. You know, not entertained on a intellectual level or even scary level, but I was entertained. Certainly.
Yeah.
But not in the hopes I would have liked to be. But this was the only thing that I watched digitally, Rob. So I think, Rob, we can start physical media.
We can, but we should start with a super chat that I've noticed that's very significant to this show.
Okay.
According to Paul Brunato, Paul says, "Hi, Rob and Dieter. Did you know that 44 years ago today, Olivia Newton-John's song, 'Let's Get Physical,' was released and spent 10 consecutive weeks at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100, her biggest hit ever."
I didn't know that.
See, I mean, see what you learn on this show. You learn the most important things that you need to know right here on this show. Rennie Beans says, words. Oh, hi, Rob. Hi, Dieter. Well, hello there, Rennie. Rennie Beans. Secular Monk says, I just got word that a 4K I purchased from the UK is undeliverable. The second 4K that I've ordered from the UK that has this problem. Tariffs suck. We've been talking about it.
So what you mean, Secular Monk, they don't even ship the title out to you? Undeliverable. Okay.
I mean, it's really getting... it's funny, our country on a number of levels, not to get political, but I keep waiting. I was willing to give the Trump administration the benefit of the doubt, the second Trump administration. I wouldn't say that we're winning anywhere. I mean, you know, when they're going to go into Portland with the military and Trump said full force. Have you ever been to Portland? You know, everyone there is stoned. People are, you don't need a military force to go in there. Just, you know, show up with some good weed. You'll take care of everything. Black Spock Wharf. Subscribe to the channel. Thank you, Black Spock Wharf. I appreciate that. So yeah, buddy, let's show some physical media.
Who starts, Rob?
Why don't you start?
Yeah, as long as my internet does. I got Warner Archive titles, Rob.
So do I.
Speaking of Joneses, I bought, since it's not in the blaxploitation box, but I don't know if it fits that genre. I bought Cleopatra Jones.
All right.
Warner Archive. And, of course, Jim Kelly, Black Belt Jones.
Yeah.
So we got
keeping up with the Joneses.
The two Joneses here.
Well, since you brought that up, I got another title. I got another blaxploitation title from Warner Archive this week.
Black Samson.
Black Samson. The man who has a lion for a pet. So Warner Brothers is delivering, I mean, listen to this. One brother's war against the man. Rockne Tarkington stars as the titular hero in this blaxploitation cult favorite. When white drug dealers try to move their operation into the hood, they do not plan on the local nightclub owner, a master of martial arts, known basically as Black Samson. Nefarious individuals try and make a deal with Samson, then they try and kill him. But when they beat up his girlfriend, the dealers go too far. Samson leads his pet lion and the people of the neighborhood in a war that drives the drug pushers out of Samson's piece of the hood, featuring a pulsating music score by New Orleans-based R&B legend Alan Toussaint. The film has been newly remastered for Blu-ray from 4K scans of the original camera negative. So, while Shout Factory is releasing their blaxploitation box sets, George Feltenstein and the folks over at Warner Archive are sliding in, giving us an ongoing litany of also great blaxploitation bangers. So,
nice.
So back to you.
Okay. This one you already showed, Rob, but I got it too. And then I remember, I think I bought the UK BFI one, but just the normal edition. So this is actually a double purchase. I got the Warner Archive of Michael Caine, Get Carter. I'm doing. Rob already showed it.
By the way, I threw that on. I threw that on to look at it. It looks incredible. The transfer is incredible. Nice. It's the same BFI transfer, but Warner Archive delivers.
As we always hope that we don't have, even when it comes to transfers, have to look out, oh, this is a little bit better, this is a little bit better. It's internationally and the US, hopefully the same perfect transfer. Then I got some Kino Lorber Schnäppchensrob that I put together in one giant package.
Go Kino Lorber. Did you go to one of their sales? They're always having great sales.
Kino Lorber doesn't ship internationally. Those are Amazon purchases. Okay. Because Amazon normally does the same thing on their website. And I think Rob showed all of these already. I got Simon West movie, John Waller, General Slaughter, just the O-ring, do it, UK and Blu-ray, General Slaughter. Then the next one actually has different cover artworks from Clint Eastwood, Thunderbolt, and Lightfoot.
That's Michael Cimino, who directed The Deer Hunter. That's his first movie.
Oh, that's nice to know, Rob. I didn't know that. So we've got different cover artwork underneath, but you can even switch it out to a third one if you like this one even more.
Gotta love Kino Lorber delivering the triple cover.
Yeah, triple cover, which is actually then always tough when you have triple covers. Okay, the one is the Oro ring already. The important is a different one underneath it. So Thunderbolt and Lightfoot. Then there's Gene Hackman and Ann Archer. Narrow Margin. I've got. And one of Rob's favorites. Really looking forward to seeing it again. Internal.
Oh my God, dude, that's such great 4K. I love that movie so much. That movie is so good.
I haven't seen it in the longest time, Rob.
200 Watt Studio should play that and To Live and Die in LA on an endless double feature loop.
Nice. Really looking forward to watching this one again. Infernal. Then the next one, I'm happy that Max is not on the show yet, because he would be a part of this purchase. But like I said, on the show, I had the right calibration for the movie. I did know already everything that was in the movie, and I could adjust to it, and I thought, yeah, it's pretty fine. But I didn't go for the steelbook because I actually love the normal artwork more, because the normal artwork actually is the movie that I want, but I didn't get. So I bought Jurassic World Rebirth.
How did you buy that swill?
Because I thought it was fine, risk-free, okay, Rob, But, nice to look at, nice to hear, Like I said, Rob, I've seen some stuff at work. So that Snickers bar, I would hope in Alien Earth there was only something like the Snickers bar that would get us upset. So Jurassic World Rebirth, normal edition. But it will come out in 2 different steelbooks too. Then one of the movies, it's always great or good to revisit them, give it a new look. And I already liked the movie, but after the second, it's gotten an uptick, and now I love it. Really looking forward to the next installment, which comes out in January, Bone Temple. But I got my 28 years.
Oh, yeah, I really like 28 Years Later a lot.
Me too, Rob. After the second time, it looks incredible. One of my favorite discs this year, considering how it was shot. And Rob, I went through the special features, and what we always say comes to fruition here, that the special features does elevate the movie for you, how it was done, how it was shot, what they were thinking about, So the special features I thought were really, really nice. So you've got, like Sony always does, the Blu-ray and the 4K. And what I have to say about Sony 2, I think it was on the disc, they don't give you only the Dolby Atmos track. I think it has a DTS Master Audio too, but I could be wrong. It was a Sony title where I thought, hey, you even get 2 different tracks. Perhaps the DTS Master Audio with just 5.1 could be working for a smaller setting better. So it's always great what Sony does with their titles. So 28 years later, the Steelbook. Can't wait how it will go on in Temple after that bonkers ending. Then Cat in the Backdrop. It says on the back here, there's a lot of plurals, which shouldn't mean anything. The movie is called Breathing In.
Wow, that's a media book, huh?
And it's a media book, correct? Not okay, it's just a Blu-ray and a DVD. Oh, here I have it, Rob. It says it here. The movie contains explicit and controversial depiction of violence and is only made for an adult audience.
All right.
So, okay.
That's what we want, buddy. That's what we're looking for.
Yeah, that's what we're here for. But no idea about it. It's called Breathing In. A little bit behind the scenes stuff. And of course, Rob, it's a limited edition to 333.
Wow.
Do I have the number?
Half of 666. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah. And I have the number 85. So this is a little bit of the first haul from Breathing.
Well, okay. As you know, I got another package from Warner Archive, and I showed you the first Black Samson, and then they said, I gotta say, I know that Damn Fool Idealistic Crusader did pick Warner Archive one year as his favorite video label, and it's not just because George Feltenstein should be the film czar of the world. It's not just because I love that guy, that I've never met anybody, especially at the studio level, who loves film and knows more about film than George Feltenstein, because he really does. But the curation of Warner Archive and what they put out, and I know I always try, I was adding more into it. I thought, you have very interesting monthly releases, and I thought I was adding more into it. And George is like, let me tell you the truth. I mean, we just put out what's ready. And I'm like, yeah, but sometimes I'm looking for patterns that sometimes a kiss is just a kiss, but there's an interesting, there's 2 movies that are really interesting that came out. And the first of these is a movie called I Died 1,000 Times that stars Jack Palance and Shelley Winters. Now, what's really interesting about this movie is it says on the back that it's based on the Humphrey Bogart movie High Sierra. That this is a gangster film that was based on High Sierra, another movie that isn't, it's about, it's a Western. and well, sort of, and it's a CinemaScope film, and this is a gangster movie, and I can't wait to see this. I didn't know anything about this movie. I don't think I'd ever heard of this movie, but Warner Archive will give this, and because George Feltenstein knows that anybody interested in genre cinema or the fact that this has a really interesting connection to High Sierra, I mean, and it says, one of the lushest and most expansively mounted gangster epics of the 50s. I'm sure Max Allan Collins would be all over this. But I just look at this and I'm like, what a joy to be able to have something like this in the best possible. I mean, it's only on Blu-ray, but what a wonderful opportunity to have a movie like this that I don't know anything about, but I love gangster films. And I know Max is going to be talking about gangster films from your neck of the woods that he was very surprised by when he's on today. But again, this is why I love Warner Archive so much. And you know that you're getting the highest bit rates and the best looking discs imaginable. So you go, Warner Archive. And that comes on the heels with a blaxploitation movie. So give me the love. Here's a Walter Houston, Gene Harlow movie called Beast of the City. And again, I'm thinking gangster movies and stuff. And Leonard Maltin's Movie Guide calls this solid, surprisingly gritty, a sort of early Dirty Harry. I mean, come on. And look, I know that George was dissuading me of trying to find patterns, but an early Dirty Harry and a gangster film based on High Sierra, I think they realized that they put these out in the same month for a reason, and a blaxploitation.
You make it work in your head, Ken and Rob. You make it work.
I do. I'm always looking for patterns in nature. And then we got, this is awesome too. The fourth disc I got, Wanted by the Law and by All the Women Whom He Planned to Marry. Laurence Olivier in The Beggar's Opera. So another gangster, or as Steve Miller might call him, a gangster of love. I've never seen this. Larry Olivier in a movie where he's trying to marry a bunch of ladies. I always thought that one of my, if I could have another life, one of my things I would like to have done is become a gigolo for older married rich women and pretended I would marry them. And I would love to be in a situation where I was wanted by the law for running out on 5 women that I can relate to this guy because this is a dream of mine. And anyway, I'm looking forward. What that says about me, I'll leave that for you to decide. So here you go. And Pauline Kael calls this pure pleasure. I'll bet it is. So there you go. That's Warner Archive's release for releases I got for the week. I also got just a very small box from Kino Lorber, perhaps the smallest box I ever got, but 3 discs that I'm happy to have. First of all, their Raro label has been putting out Italian crime thrillers for years and years. And this Franco Gasperi in the 44 caliber, 44 specialist. I love the artwork on these discs. I love all of these discs. These Italian gangster movies are fucking great. I mean, the overall idea of them is great. Some are better than others, but I love the fact that Kino Lorber has put out, they must have put out at least 50 of these under their Raro label. So this is one. I haven't seen this one. I don't know anything about it. Stelvio Massi directed it. And, one of the great things about what Kino Lorber does is there's lots of special features on these discs. And like you said, they accentuate your enjoyment of the film. And I think that's, some of their audio commentaries aren't the best, but okay. But it's great to have these.
Yeah.
One of the things that I've loved, and they keep releasing more, their Kino Cult label, but the fact that they've been putting out Dan Curtis, who created Dark Shadows, but also did The Winds of War and War and Remembrance. Winds of War is one of my favorite TV miniseries of all time. They put out, because Dan Curtis made a lot of mysteries and horror-themed movies, and this is the latest, and they've been putting out a few, the Late Night Mysteries. And these were late-night movies, that were put out on TV. And there's 4 films here. And there's an introduction by the author of House of Dan Curtis, The Television Mysteries of the Dark Shadows auteur, Shadow of Fear, commentary by Amanda Reyes, author of Are You in the House Alone, a TV movie compendium, 1964 to 1999. I got to tell you, now I don't remember this. I met this woman, Amanda Reyes' husband, and I meet so many people. I don't remember where I met him.
Yeah.
And he told me that his wife wrote a book on TV movies, which I had to go immediately order. And I'm like, first of all, you married well, sir. I'm sorry I don't remember your how we met or whenever we met, but he was talking about his wife. This book, Are You in the House Alone, is absolutely delightful. It's a delightful book because it's an appreciation. You know, it might not be the greatest. It doesn't have necessarily the greatest insight into, you know, but it's the fact that somebody bothered to collect these books or these movies into this book. I love these movies so much when I was a kid. These late night TV and horror films, or mystery and horror films, some of them are really good, like Killdozer and The Stranger Within with Barbara Eden, and of course Don't Be Afraid of the Dark and Bad Ronald and Satan's School for Girls and Sweet Hostage. And I mean, I loved all these movies. So it's so great that they put this out. And with great special features. I haven't even opened it up. There's probably not the four movies don't have, there's no alternate cover. But I'm just, again, I'm so happy to have this. But I have to say, they did send this in I'm not going to complain, Kino Lorber. They sent this in a puffy envelope, and the O-ring got a little beat up, just to say. And then the third disc they sent me was Yorgos Lanthimos' movie Dogtooth. And they did a 4K restoration. This is a 4K disc. And of course, sometimes they give you, you know, a different excuse me, a different disc.
Gesundheit.
Thank you. And there's a lot of great stuff on here. There's both a Blu-ray and the 4K and special features. And Yorgos Lanthimos this is one of his first films, and obviously he's gone on to become an Oscar caliber director, making things like Poor Things and other movies. But this is great. So thank you, Kino Lorber, for that. And I'll leave it there.
Nice. We had some super chats, I think, Rob, that came in. Before I go to my second haul.
Well, let me take a look. Hold on. Let's look. Let's see. We do. Wow, there's a lot of super chats. Okay. Secular Monk says, we already did that one. Norwegian Kryptonian, who's been a member for 53 months, said, Treasure Island from 1990 starring Charlton Heston was one of my favorite pirate movies growing up, but where is the Blu-ray? Good question. I don't know. We'll have to look into that. Louis Feliciano says, I just found out that Claudia Cardinal, once upon a time in the West, Claudia Cardinal passed away a few days ago. Either way, I wasn't paying attention or the outlets kept it quiet. Well, she's kind of more of a cult actress, but she was amazing, beautiful, and we should have brought that. I should have brought that up. I feel I was remiss, but yes, she did pass away. And
I stumbled across that news.
Yeah.
Good.
So shout out to her. What a face she had. Tom Jr. Jackson says, sent one Burnettwork membership out, which is very nice. Louis Feliciano goes on to say, rest in peace, Claudia Cardinal, 1938 to 2025. Secular Monk has been a member of the channel for 25 months. Thank you. Thank you for that. Renee Beans says, do either of you know who I am? Just asking. Do you know who she is or who they are? I don't know. I can't tell. Hang on.
No, wait. Rennie Beans? No.
Well, you know, as AI says, is not a commonly known term, but appears to be a playful or informal way of referring to someone or something, possibly referencing the name of Renee with variations of the spelling, indicating affection, or a nickname possibly linking the Instagram account of Irene Jenkins. Or it could be a personal variation on the name Renee Bean. So is this Irene Jacobs? I don't know.
That could be. Who knows?
Our favorite mom?
Hopefully she will clear up that mystery.
Is she coming back to the show? Are you
no
back?
idea.
Are you back? I don't know.
Yeah.
Castle. We had to know, like, how I'm looking at little small avatars that I can't see on my screen. I'm just can see.
It was Irene Jobson. Jobson. Major Jaja. I have no idea.
It was or is. That's Irene back. Yeah. Well, welcome back. So
whoever you are.
She's back. Castle Grayskull says, she sent a Burnettwork membership. That's very nice. Major Chai Chai says, I hope you get feeling better soon, Robert. Hi, Dieter and Max. Well, Max isn't here yet. Also, a big welcome back to the Renee Beans. Irene is back. I feel okay. I just have a cold. It's kind of annoying. Irene Jobson. There you go. Well, Irene, welcome back. You know, you were easily one of the cutest.
She just confirmed it, Rob.
She's one of the cutest members of the entire Post-Geek Singularity, so it's always nice to have her back. But again, Dieter, we might lead her down the primrose path one more time. One never knows. So, well, great to have you back, Irene. I didn't know who you were. So we're caught up. You want to show some more physical media?
Yeah, my second haul before we open the viewing. This one, Rob showed already too. I'm feeling like I'm always late now to the party. Master and Commander.
Oh, nice.
Steelbook. Haven't gotten around to it yet. Just got it yesterday or Friday, I believe. But finally, release in Germany were a little bit later. So, but I always love that they come with this slip where you can put the steelbook in. Master and Commander. Then a movie that got mixed reviews, really looking forward to it. But I think it did actually pretty well considering the box office. Celine Song's Materialists from A24. But this is just a Blu-ray. It's not a 4K. And as always, we have other side, stupid me. We have Digipack, as always. And yes, features Pedro Pascal. And it comes with art cards. And let me just see on the back. Or there's even funny stuff at the back, like a menu here. Yeah, we have a bill. So there's even stuff on the back of the cards. So I'm really interested in what I will make of the movie. But I think it did actually pretty good considering the box office. So Materialist or Materialists, put that aside. Then we always complained about Warner in the past, a little bit about the back catalog and their steelbooks, which were not up to the task. But it seems they're coming a little bit around, considering the F1 steelbook, where I can't decide which one, because I loved all three motives. And the next one of the summer blockbusters, if you don't, another axiom of mine, if you're not sure which steelbook to take, order them both and then decide, and the other goes back or out to a friend. I got Rob Superman, the steelbook.
Nice.
I decided to go with this one because I love the blue. And sometimes you don't see on the webpage. This is embossed here, so it's a little bit.
Yeah, I haven't even ordered that. I got to figure out what I want to get because I passed. I don't know why I didn't order it.
Yeah, This is everyone knows my yellow fetish, but this is as yellow you can't even read the title. This is the Blu-ray. It's the Blu-ray and of course the 4K. And I watched it yesterday again, and just like with 28 years later, which I already liked, Superman got an uptick in the second viewing. There's always stuff where you're not sure about how you feel that you can let slide a little bit easier. And I just loved in the movie, I'm still not a fan of that Proton stream, but I love the stuff that's in it. And I even love that they changed the lore a little. I know that Die Hard Superman fans were not happy with that. And of course, the discussion, should Superman interfere into politics? So after second viewing, really like Superman.
I have to say that one of my favorite things this week, I don't know if you've seen, there's a clip, I guess it's from the DVD, the Blu-ray special or the 4K special features. The moment where 4, the Superman robot number 4 is talking about he wants a name, and they show the clip. 4 is a good name, and then Alan Tudyk says, "So is Gary." You know, that was an ad lib. Alan Tudyk was not supposed to say that. That wasn't in the script.
Okay.
He said, "So is Gary." And David Cornsweet loses it. He starts howling with laughter. And he says, "That's got to be in the movie," or "that made the movie." And he's howling. And it's true. And there's a whole thing about how James Gunn didn't know if he was going to keep that in the movie. Kept it in the movie. That was a total Alan Tudyk ad lib. So is Gary. And it's my favorite. I've watched it like 20 times. It showed up on my Instagram feed. It just, it's these little things that make you happy. And the fact that one of the things that people don't know when you're making movies is when you get actors that are great and you really have a lot of great synergy on the set and you can trust, especially when you're making films where, that you have to create a certain warmth or when there's whimsy happening on a set and you allow actors to play in that way, you never know. You might get something. And that moment became sort of iconic in Superman when 4 is asking for a real name and says, "Well, so is Gary." I mean, to know that was completely improvised and made up, and that James Gunn didn't know whether he was going to keep it. So that was when you can trust your actors, and your actors are cooking and they can work together and do something interesting. The actors themselves in that moment created something that elevated the material beyond what was just on the page, and I love seeing that.
Yeah. And the second one, which will go to my boss Patrick, is this one, which I totally love too.
Wow.
I don't know if I can make... sometimes it depends on how you hold it. The shadow is...
Where did that come from? Where's that steelbook from?
Both came from Amazon Italy. And there's even a third one with the Fortress of Solitude on the front. And I even love the back on this one. So this was a tight race, but I did go for the bluish one. But this will go to...
Wow, I really like that.
Patrick. So I will keep it safe here.
Keep it secret.
Protected.
Keep it safe.
Already in
Is it safe?
bubble wrap. Next one. This is not the Korean movie. This is actually a Spanish movie. Cat in the Backdrop. Hopefully a good one. It's called, like the Korean movie, The Wailing.
I love when Max joins us that no one can tell he's there, but when he opens something, we can hear it. It's fantastic.
The Wailing. Then,
by the way, The Wailing, that movie, The Wailing is easily one of the great horror films of the 21st century.
Yeah.
That movie is fucking dope.
Considering all the summer blockbuster movies, there were disappointments, fine ones, like Jurassic World Rebirth, good ones, which got an uptick, but there was only one for me that delivered immediately, like Rob always says. It did its homework, totally delivered. So, of course, I got my Ballerina Steelbook. There are different artworks for Ballerina 2. And what is great is it is a 3-disc set, and it contains the documentary Vic is Pain 2, which is 2 hours. And
My friend Jeff
that's,
Doe
of
worked
course,
on that documentary.
awesome. And it, of course, it dives into the history of making the first. And this was great, Rob, to hear how close the movie actually gotten to not even being made. You know, the prep was already done, and then finance broke down. You know, some of the financiers jumped off. You know, and the 6 million that you were hoping to get to produce the movie were gone. You know, it was
And who
really
stepped
nice
in to fix it?
I don't know the name, Longoria somewhere.
Eva
somehow.
Longoria.
Yeah.
Former
Right,
actress
he
Eva
put up-
Longoria, and now financier, stepped in and saved that movie.
Yeah. And finally, and so we got the John Wick franchise. And stuff that I didn't know about Chet Strelski, the main director of the franchise. He was the stand-in for Brandon Lee in The Crow for parts that were missing for the movie. I didn't know that, Rob. So really nice stuff that I got to know about the movie. And of course, Ballerina, for me, one of my favorites this year. The next one, A Cat in the Bag, Rob. It's a let me just see, a Brazilian movie. It's called The Screening, where people get trapped in a theater and there's some, murderous things going on. But here comes the strange thing, Rob. On the back of the cover, and this can only be right, it says, this is found footage horror produced by Bryan Singer. And I thought, wait, what? And I couldn't find anything about Bryan Singer being the producer of that movie. And the movie, I started it, it's not even a found footage. This can only be a lie, Rob. I don't know. But it says here, don't know if I can make it sharp, produced by Bryan Singer, But for me, I couldn't find anything that's connecting Bryan to this movie. So a lie, Rob, a lie. To sell the movie, the screening. What can you do? What can you do? The next one, I already own, and I had to go once again to Japan to get it because I love the movie and I love yellow. So I got the Japanese Thunderbolts, which comes, of course, with the 3D Blu-ray. The only country in the world where you still can get a 3D version of the movie. So we've got 3 discs in here. The Thunderbolts, Japan, with 3D. And the last one, a media book, a movie that I remember seeing on television back in the day, but I haven't seen it properly since. Really looking forward to it. And it is for the first time out in Germany. I'm talking about Wolfen, Rob. So about Finney. It's a media book, but not a 4K. It's just a Blu-ray release. And
I love
DVD,
that movie.
But it says it has some new making of to it. Of course, a little bit of production.
That was
here.
part of 1981's triptych of werewolf movies.
Yeah.
We had The Howling, we had American Werewolf in London, and Wolfen. And Wolfen is based, I believe, on a Whitley Strieber novel.
Okay. Really looking forward to seeing it again. And like you can see, Rob, perhaps it's shiny.
It's pretty
Shiny.
cool.
No. Wolfen, the last one of my haul this week.
All right, I'll finish my haul off, and then we'll bring in we'll open the C-Wing.
The Sea-Wing. Yeah.
So I got a box from the lovely Lisa Stevenson, hooking me up. As you know, I write articles for the Lionsgate Limited website. My last one just dropped about Jacob's Ladder. But I gotta say, the lovely Lisa Stevenson, who doesn't seem to age, they are doing great work over at Lion. It's not just because they send me shit or because Breck Eisner, opens our show. So here they put out the Bill Murray comedy Meatballs. Are you ready for the summer? So here it is. It has a lenticular. Let me go full frame on these.
Yeah.
So you can see this. So here's Meatballs. Sure. It is a steelbook, and it is a lenticular cover. If you can
nice.
So
yeah.
And then this is the O-ring, and here's the steelbook. And then, of course, I love the fact it's in front of and behind. So it's pretty clever.
Nicely done.
Yeah, again, when the hand goes up, the mouth goes shut. I mean, for anyone who went to summer camp, this is one of the great summer camp movies. And, you know, I don't know why, but I thought this was like it was just a Blu-ray. It's a 4K disc. It's a total remaster. And, you know, I love these comedies are from my youth, definitely have a great nostalgia factor. I love this film, so this is a great release from Lionsgate Limited. The recent film that just came out, The Home, and of course, Pete.
I'm looking forward to it, Rob, because I heard it had some crazy ending.
That's me too. I didn't get to see it. Pete Davidson, of course, in this film.
Yeah.
Again, this is a 4K
nice.
disc. This is a digipack, diggy as you would say, with spot UV printing, and here's the disc.
Mine is on the way, Rob, but I only get it as a UK Blu-ray. There's no 4K release, I think, internationally.
Yeah, so this was really cool to get, and of course it's got a digital copy in there. Yeah. So again, really cool O-ring, cool cover, you know, awesome to have. Now this, one of those nice, family-friendly, really warm-hearted movies. I'm speaking, of course, of Requiem for a Dream, Darren Aronofsky's big breakthrough. I mean, I love Pi, but this film is insane. This also has this crazy lenticular cover, and depending on how far you go, I mean, this is a great lent. And of course, this is the TV that possesses her in a way, and then in the back, it's the back of the TV. So it's the front of the TV. I mean, come on. This is some outstanding packaging. And then this is not a steelbook. It opens up like this. You know, it's so you've got, hang on, inside you've got a diggy, as you say, a digipack. And then you've got the lovely Jennifer Connelly, ass to ass Jennifer Connelly in this movie. And then Jared Leto. And
damn.
The discs. But it also comes with a recreation of the one sheet. Although it's folded, but you've got the whole one. I don't need to open the whole thing up. If you know the one sheet, it came with that, which is cool. Then it came with art cards, for the kids to put on your refrigerator. If you want, because this film, this is one of those movies you want all of your kids to see, and it's like an after-school special. Drugs are bad. Jenny eats something. That's what you want out of movies like this. And so you go, Lionsgate Limited. I'm very happy to have this beautiful disc. I already think, don't I have Requiem for a Dream in 4K?
Rebang us. From the package.
Yeah, so great
Home
stuff.
We will see about the movie.
Yeah, this is actually a really, really, really unpleasant movie, but it's brilliantly done. So
not coffee and cake worthy.
No, it is not a coffee and cake movie. Now, I already showed my Umbrella release, but again, Lionsgate Limited brings it to America and with another lenticular cover, which is beautifully done. The Spear Brothers Daybreakers really like this movie. Very John Carpenter-esque in its conception. I hope they do Predestination because another banger. These guys haven't made a movie in a while. Why not? I love them. This steelbook has the same artwork on the front, but look at the back. Ooh. Great steelbook. I love this movie. A great pastiche of science fiction horror and dystopian future. Great stuff. Ethan Handsome Hawk, and of course, our favorite Doctor from the Jurassic Park franchise, and Damien, right in one movie. What's not to love? And then finally, the most self-serving of this week's releases. I thought it wasn't coming till October, but I got my Tron steelbook. Good for me.
Nice.
Thank you very much. People have all seen it. Very nice steelbook. And the
Really
coolest
looking
thing...
forward to seeing your documentary again, Rob.
Yeah,
because,
the documentary...
when I watched it back in the day from the DVD, of course, I didn't know who made that doc, and that I would, at some point, stream with him, about physical media.
There you go. And You know, it's funny. I talk about a lot of the special features that I've worked on in the early aughts have disappeared. They haven't been reissued, and they literally, you know, they've disappeared. So it's great to see that they included my documentary because it's feature length. It's 88 minutes long, and a lot of the people in that documentary are no longer with us. Well, not a lot. Barnard Hughes isn't.
Yeah.
But
and I went back, Rob, to Red Letter Media, their review of Tron and Tron Legacy, and they even mentioned the documentary. Not you by name, but they watched some of the documentary, how the movie was made. You know.
Oh, and I, you know, it's academic. It's a little dry. I'll even admit that because there wasn't a lot of behind the scenes footage at all.
Yeah.
But you know, I did a deep dive into the creation of that movie. So, the disc, by the way, I did
movies
finally...
back in the day were not made with the behind the scenes footage back in mind.
No, and of course I made the documentary originally for the 2002 20th anniversary release, so it was only done in standard depth, but it looks pretty good. You know, they upscaled it back for the Blu-ray when the Blu-ray came out like 10 years ago. So it's great to see that they included it. So thank you, thank you Disney. I worked really hard on it, and they didn't want that documentary, so.
Did you have time, Rob, to give it a glancery look, considering the picture quality?
Yeah, I mean, it looks pretty good. It was the older encode, but it was great to have. So I was happy to.
I mean, not the doc, Rob. I actually mean Tron, the movie.
Oh, the movie looks incredible. It looks incredible. I mean, and it sounds incredible too. I mean, maybe not the kind of sound that's modern because it is 40.
No, of course.
It's 43 years old, but it's incredible. It looks great. But of course, my Tron Legacy didn't come. So
yeah, I don't have either of those two yet, Rob.
Well,
still waiting.
I got to get my Superman.
Yeah.
Well, should we open the C-Wing?
I think it's time for him. He's
All
waiting
right.
in the wings. Waiting in the wings.
Waiting the wings. You know him, you love him. There he is, Max Allen Collins, the depraved individual who runs the C-Wing of the B&B Motel. The stuff that he writes about, the stuff that he thinks about, you know, we can't even talk about it. You know, half the audience will be turned off by what goes on in this man's head, even more turned off by what he facilitates in the C-Wing.
Yeah.
The smells and the sounds coming out of that. Oh my God. Max, welcome.
It's nice to be back. It's really nice to be back. I'm very impressed hearing about Tron and your documentary, that you could have done a documentary for a movie 43 that came out 43 years ago, that you did that documentary when you were 7. That's
right.
just amazing.
It was incredible. You know, I was a very precocious 7-year-old.
And your parents let you out of the house to do that every day and got out of school. And well, I'm impressed.
That's why I got in trouble with the ladies. I had to go from school to school because I was servicing some of my teachers.
Good for you.
I know, right?
Good for you, Rob.
That's how I knew how important it was to get my cheeks wet at a very young age, if you know what I'm saying.
Well, you know, often we're called True Noir, and maybe at some point I can twist your arm to tell people why my segment is called True Noir. But I don't always get to talk about noir because it is enough of a subgenre that there isn't something out every week. And so we talk about other crime things and airport movies and whatever we kind of want to talk about.
Some airport movies are a crime.
Shop movies.
So yes. It does work well, right? Deets?
It does. In fact, I just was approached by a company that does sort of under the counter, not in that way, Rob. Get your mind out of the gutter.
Okay, but it's always in the gutter. I can't help it.
But things that that TV movies and so on that aren't really licensed that you can get. And one of them was Airport 77, like the 4-hour version or something that had all kinds of stuff.
That's the TV version. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
You were talking to somebody that has that?
It's available from this. I will send this link to you.
Okay, this is very important because Airport 77 is an important film to me for a number of reasons. But the TV, the thing that Universal has 2 movies, 2-minute warning. Well, Earthquake and Airport 77, that they have these very long extended versions of for TV.
Mm-hmm.
And 2-Minute Warning, and which I saw in Hawaii, and when I was a kid, and I saw the extended version, I could never see it again. So I'd love to get, and Airport 77 too. I'd love to get that.
Well, if you don't know this place, it's actually, I'll give them a little, I don't know if I should mention it on the air. I don't want to get them in trouble.
Of course you should.
But Mod Cinema has tons of TV movies, particularly ones that had been pilots for, for shows that came to be. So I'll give you a link to that, Rob, and you'll be a little richer for it and a little poorer for it.
Well, it's like stinky tuna. I was on the tuna train.
Win
I don't
lose.
know. I definitely have to get that.
Some things are a must. I also today I may need you to pitch in a little bit, Dieter, because I'm doing 5 German movies.
Oh,
And
I don't know if you come to the right place here.
well, I may not know how to pronounce any of the names.
Okay.
It
Perhaps
took me-
I can help you out.
2 months to learn to say Dieter. I mean, I'm a slow learner. But this is a box set
Okay.
from Eureka, Masters of Cinema, and it is probably my favorite box set I've gotten this year, and one of my all-time favorite boxes. And I didn't expect that, because I kind of bought it because I thought, well, I'd better buy this because I've liked their other boxes, but it was called Rack and Ruin, and it's partially about stories that take place in the rubble of Germany after the war. I thought it didn't sound like fun.
No, not at all.
It sounded a little bit like castor oil, but my wife and I watched every one of these, and this is a terrific box set. Absolutely terrific box set. Dieter, these movies, I'm going to be very curious to know if you have seen these movies and if they showed these on German television.
To be honest, Max, I don't think so. I've seen the titles on the bottom here, but I don't think so. They
Max,
are from DIFA, who put out that other sci-fi box that Rob bought.
I wanted to chime in and say, so DIFA Studios was an East German studio that was set up to compete with American film output, and they started in the 60s and went into the 70s, and the first Eureka put out, first of all, let me give a shout out, Deaf Crocodile in this country put out a 2-disc set of 2 of the movies in a beautiful, Deaf Crocodile is a label that does not get nearly enough credit. They have the weirdest, most eclectic, talk about forgotten films I've never heard of that are delightful. I have something on order from them, a time travel film, but they put out they probably only have the rights to do 2 of the films here in the States, but they put out the first box set, and then Eureka in the UK, Masters of Cinema, they put out the 4 films that had like the first spaceship on Venus. They have the original version on that set, but they put out 4 of these films. And one of them was made after 2001 to sort of compete. It was shot in 70 millimeter. It has incredible model work, and it showed us what a utopian Soviet style communist future might look like, multi-ethnic. I mean, these movies have they're really interesting. But so DIFA, which is the name of the studio, also made these crime movies, and which I haven't seen, and I just want to chime in and sort of set that stage, because
I can't even tell you if they played on German television at all. I have no idea.
Yeah, these were definitely East German movies made to espouse communist ideals, which probably college students today would really love, even though they'd be bored to tears by these, but okay.
Well, and I only know what I'm about to say because I read, I should say. I forget that I actually read and don't just
Yeah,
watch.
they have a great book. The books in these really contextualize and give you the history.
Yeah, I read the whole book, and it's really, really good and informative. When they made these movies, actually, DIFA goes back to the late 40s. And the first movie that I'm going to talk about a little bit was before DIFA, and DIFA formed in part because that movie had done well and showed them what they could do. because goes back to when Germany was divided into four pieces among the Allies. So you had Germany, where you had America and Great Britain and France and Russia, and it hadn't broken into just the two parts of. I'm not an expert on the history, but that is the case. And a lot of these filmmakers had been working under the Nazi regime, and that output, the wartime output, and you probably both of you know this. They did a lot of really kind of fluff. They did not do as much, if any, really, like Nazi propaganda films. They were propaganda in the sense that they were very entertaining and life was wonderful, and musicals and comedies, and just really a lot of color. And there's that really good Baron von Munchausen movie that I'm sure you've seen, Rob. But anyway, then these filmmakers who were doing what they had to, did some very serious, but not in a bad way, movies. It's like they got to actually do some things that they wanted to do. And 3 of these movies are really overtly noir. That's why I'm actually talking about noir movies on the True Noir segment. And the other 2 show the influence of Hollywood and sometimes France on these movies. Just diving in, the first one was called Murderers Among Us. And again, I don't know these directors. I've never heard of any of them, and I don't know. This is the only one that had a star in it that I recognized. The director's name was Wolfgang and Dieter Stuka. Would that be it? Stuaudte?
Yeah. Wait. I'm just go on, Max. We'll look it up.
Okay. And Hildegard Neff is in that, and she's just stunningly beautiful. She was in a bunch of, not a bunch, but quite a few American movies. She was in Snows of Kilimanjaro, for example. Lovely blonde, and interestingly, one of the things that they were criticized, that I know even my wife said, she's coming back from a concentration camp, and she says, well, she looks really good. I mean, she looks really pretty good for just being in a concentration camp. And then when I was reading in this, if I can remember how to hold a thing up, she was actually in prison camp herself.
Wow.
But I guess if you look like Hildegard Neff, they found something for you to do other than the hard physical
Is she like
labor.
who Bridget von Hammersmark was based off of in Tarantino's Inglourious Bastards?
Yes, I would say so. But she was not. She was not really in any of the Nazi era movies to speak of. So maybe that's an unfair way to look at it. But she's fantastically beautiful, and that's the only really beautiful thing in the movie, because it's a very grim in terms of the setting. Because one of the reasons they're called rubble films is a number of them, not all of them, but a number of them take place in the rubble of Berlin. And the theme is a doctor who comes back having served in the war, and we don't even know at first that he's a doctor. He seems to be just a guy in a suit and hat who walks around drunk and depressed. Now, this sounds like it's not good or fun, but it is good. And this beautiful young woman who's come back from a concentration camp goes to this rundown apartment house that somehow managed to weather the war, but badly. She comes back to go to her apartment that she has a lease on, and this kind of drunken, we find out former doctor is living there. Has just come in and this taking the place over, and it's a mess. The apartment building is a mess, and the apartment is a mess. And she decides to let him stay there. Now, there's nothing sexual going on. She them stay in one room and she stays in the other room. Comes back and tries to rebuild. She comes in, she cleans the apartment up. And as the movie goes on, it gets better and better in terms of how it looks. She is a domestic approach to it. And he is, quite a bit of feeling sorry for himself. He hangs out at a nightclub with a bunch of beautiful showgirls in the back. There's a lot of beautiful girls in this movie. I got to tell you that, not just Hildegard Neff. And the movie is really about him dealing with his post-traumatic stress syndrome and deciding whether it's worth going on and rebuilding and frankly, being a doctor again. So thematically, it's extremely interesting. Now, it very much is a film noir in the look. And there are, and there's a crime undercurrent because there's a German businessman who's come back and has a very successful business, a factory even. Even in the rubble, he's managed to put this factory together. And we can tell because when these two characters, the doctor and this guy, get together, this guy just, oh, well, you're my old pal and all the things you've done for me and everything. And he's very reticent. And as the movie goes on, we realize that this doctor was forced to witness, he didn't participate, to witness in a terrible war crime. And now this guy has gone on, he isn't even, that was the war. I don't have to think about that. And really it becomes a revenge movie where he's plotting to kill this guy. And so that's pretty noir right there.
Oh, yeah.
And so he, the question is he going to cross that line? He's kind of rehabilitating himself. He saves a woman's life because he had to reach into his past as a doctor to be able to help her. And so he's already rehabilitating himself. Now, is he going to kind of lose everything because he's going to murder this guy? And part of you is saying, kill this motherfucker. I mean, really, this guy is terrible. I mean, because he's in these war crimes and come back and is having this great life in the midst of people who are having struggling just to survive. That's just the first movie. And
wow.
I thought it was great. I mean, I really legitimately thought it was great.
I just looked it up, Max. The name of the director is Wolfgang Staudte.
Okay.
And he did even the script a little bit. The script was done by 3 people, but he worked on the script too. And it has a 7.4 here on IMDb. It says drama, war, and like you always, I love when Max says criminal movie.
Had you heard of this director?
No, Max.
Well, and there's a different director for each movie, and they're distinctively different as you go through the box. The second one is, to some degree, the most well-known. It's called Somewhere in Berlin. And this is Kurt Maitzek. And this really is, again, about, there's these little kids. It's almost, they're not super little. I mean, it's almost like a Dead Ends Kid movie when they were serious. Like the first movie, Dead End.
Yeah.
And these kids are playing and doing things in the rubble. And one of the little boys is hoping that his father will come home and rebuild the garage they had in his garage business. He was like a repair shop. And there's a conflict between the little boys where they're all playing, but there's kind of a militaristic group among the boys who calls himself the captain. So there's almost a, Lord of the Flies element in this movie. And so then there's the story of one little boy who is living with a very, not abusive, but not his father. It's somebody they've taken this kid in, but this guy is working the black market. He's seems to be really nice. He's not. So we see what happens to this fatherless child, and there's several fatherless children in this, and motherless as far as that goes. in this, in this, well, crime movie. And this is a crime movie too, because there's a lot of black market stuff going on.
Yeah.
And there's, stealing. It opens with a guy who's being chased through the rubble because he's pickpocketed a woman. And it's one of the things that the story hinges upon is that one of the people in this, people who's a good person, goes to gets a hold of this wallet, because this thief had hidden it in their apartment, and they ran across it and saw whose wallet it was, and took it to return it to these people. And they are also this class of people that are still very, doing very well from the war. And they aren't even thinking. They give them like a little tip. Says, yeah, okay, fine, nice to get our wallet back. So it's full of these interesting little subplots, little scenes. And the main character, and this is interesting, is the father of one of the boy who wanted his dad to rebuild the garage if he comes home. And he comes home, and as in the first movie we discussed, this guy's post-traumatic stress syndrome. He's he thinks the world is a terrible place now, and he doesn't enter the movie till 20 minutes in. You've been spending your time with these kids. Now the real protagonist comes in, and again you have this this family around him trying to rebuild, and he is kind of feeling sorry for himself if you get right down to it. So it becomes a story about the child becoming father to the man, and it goes somewhere very uplifting. I don't want to spoil it, but it says we have to rebuild, we have to start over, and this is a good movie. This is a really good movie, and it's not the best movie in the set.
The director of this one, Max, is called Gerhard Lamprecht, and he did even did the script of the movie. So he did the script and directed the movie. Gerhard Lamprecht.
Now I actually watched these out of order because again I thought this
they're not connected, so it doesn't matter.
I thought this box set was going to be like, I'm taking my medicine. I'm like being a serious cinephile, and I'm going to watch these things. So the first thing I go to is a movie called Police Raid, and it's a flat out noir crime movie. And I'm not going to spoil it, but there is an amazing surprise in the middle of the movie. I mean, almost dead set in the middle of the movie, that has the impact of Janet Leigh's death in Psycho.
Wow.
And I have never seen this done in a movie. And I don't want to spoil it, so I'm not going to say what it is. It's basically about cops who are trying to deal with the black market. And the black market is shown as a way that, people are turning to because they got to make, they got to eat, right? But there's a bunch of people, sort of almost like mob bosses, because it really has a mob's feel of the people that are controlling the black market. And so it's not judgmental about the people who buy from the black market if they can, or the people who are actually, a lot of people who are like the dealing with selling or trading in the black market, as much as the people that are controlling this crime. So it's really about trying to find the kingpin, really, of the black market. And so it's a very traditional crime movie. Now, again, it has this element. There's a guy, and this is like maybe a third of in the movie. A guy shows up, a young man, and he's he's a musician, and that's key that he's in the arts. And he's come back, and he's got his violin. I forget what it's a violin. I think he's got, and he's going to go start over. And he has no luck. I mean, he can't get a job. He can't get a job as a musician anywhere. And he seems to be a very solid, good young man. He's a little younger than these other characters I talked about who came back from the war. and he is drawn into the black market of being someone who sells on the black market. So you see that that people can get caught up in this because they have, I won't say they have no choice, but they have limited choices, and none of them are terribly good. And the movie on some level is about his rehabilitation, of him coming back and going to join society in a positive way.
Nice.
And I'm not going to spoil the surprise, but I'm telling you, there's a surprise midway that it's like, what?
Wow.
Really?
That's what we're always looking for,
Well,
to be surprised.
Well, and I got to say this about all of these movies, or at least most of these movies. I had never seen these before, and I don't mean that in the, well, I've never seen this movie. I mean, I've never seen movies doing the things that these movies are doing, but they also are staying in traditional genres. I mean, it's Murders Among Us is kind of a revenge drama. Somewhere in Berlin is like a dead ends kids movie. Police Raid is a hardcore police procedural. One of the interesting things too is that there's the police detective who is the hero is an older man, and we really see, and they're hoping against hope that the young man, the son in the family, is going to come home. They very much depict the home life and what a positive home life it is. Now they're struggling, but they are all doing the right thing. And so there's and a lot of these movies have this family sense of things going on, that the family are something that these in this war-torn situation, they can fall back on, or the lack thereof. If they don't have a family, they're kind of fucked, So this is an excellent movie. Good action. There's a fantastic nightclub that is, with all the beautiful dancers, and it's almost a musical comedy element to that. Again, never saw. I've seen a lot of police procedurals, but I've never seen this one before, particularly with this incredible surprise. Now, the next one is called Marriage in the Shadows, and it is. And the last two actually really take the Jewish situation dead on, and both of these movies take place before the war. And Marriage in the Shadows is about two actors, an actor and actress, and the man is just I guess he's he's an Anglo or whatever, and she's Jewish, and it's never been an issue. And when it starts at the beginning, they're both adored as actors, and they're kind of a team on stage, signing autographs, and then very soon she is told she can't perform anymore. And he goes on, and he's successful, and he's working in the movies, and the recurring theme is basically,
sounds like every college campus on America this year.
Well, they keep saying characters in this drama and melodrama. It's very much a melodrama. Keep saying it's going to get better. It can't be this bad forever. It's going to be better. It never gets better, and it gets progressively worse. And to where
progressively is right.
Yeah, and and finally the male actor is put in a position of having to, he needs to divorce his wife if he wants to keep working. And those are the kind of conflicts you see in this movie. You find out, for example, that if a Jewish gal was married to a soldier, she could get her, she could stay in Germany or whatever, stay in Berlin. If the soldier died, then she lost all her rights, would be sent to a concentration camp. So now this doesn't happen immediately. It's a very gradual. And in fact, I felt like it really reminded me in its approach, and it was the least film noir, although all these movies have expressionist techniques in them. But this really reminded me of a Douglas Sirk melodrama, because it was a love story with all these melodramatic things happening, or dramatic, if you get right down to it. So that's a real good movie. And I probably liked it the least, and I still really, really liked it. And the only reason I liked it the least is because it wasn't there's no real crime element other than the
Right.
overall crime.
Sure.
My favorite movie.
That's exciting.
My favorite movie, and my wife, who's a very sharp filmmaker, she is kind of a filmmaker too, but she's a film buff.
Boom, chicka, boom, bam. I'd like to see those films. Yeah.
This movie is called The Bloom Affair, BLUM, and it's set in 1926. This is an amazing movie. It really starts out showing you. I tell you what, this movie is a Columbo episode.
Tom Jr. Jackson will love that.
Because it begins showing you everything that the sociopathic bad guy does, the murder he commits. And when he's captured, he tells the police that, I didn't see this guy, but he was over to the house telling me about how his boss is, his boss is embezzling or whatever. There's financial funny business going on at this company. Jewish guy running the company, Jewish executive. So the Jewish executive becomes the suspect because of this baloney that the guy told him. And when they find the body of the person, or actually they find it late in the movie because it was buried in this guy's basement. But yeah, that's like an Alfred Hitchcock TV episode. But the guy is missing and presumed dead, and all of the suspicion is on this executive at this Jewish executive at this company, and it's all about how there's assumptions that, this guy must have done it because he's a Jewish guy. So they're among the upper police are not bad guys. They're just like, it's just like a prejudice they have. Like, well, it must be him. It's like these. It's like Trump saying these black guys must have raped that woman in the park or whatever, and these assumptions are made, and so. At a certain point, the Columbo type detective, and he is kind of he's kind of rumpled, and I mean, I was, and he's going around doing and look, and he's not talking to. It's not the thing where he talks to the bad guy directly all the time, but he's going around and poking around. He looks at this. He suspects this guy, and he goes into his house and finds bullets, bullets in the wall and all this stuff. And so he's dogged about it. And his bosses are telling him, quit it. And we've got this guy because we now got him in, behind bars, this executive. He obviously is the guy who killed his employee who was going to rat him out. Just leave it alone. And he's just like, yeah, wrong. Yeah. Then he keeps doggedly looking and looking and looking. And he ultimately, this is a spoiler alert.
What?
He does eventually clear the guy, and the bad guy gets totally caught. And he's such a bad guy, you really want him to. I mean, he's a sociopath that you really want to have get nabbed. And it drives you crazy that he's coming in and he's being very glib as he talks to the cops, and the cops are all thinking this is a really charming guy who they've got, they can depend on for his testimony. But the Columbo character, not surprisingly, prevails. Now, a major part of this is the shock that the family, the wife and husband, the husband being the executive, because they're pretty upper class. They can't believe this is happening to them, and she in particular can't believe this is happening to them. And she's, again, very upper class, and they're not letting her talk to her husband. He's in jail, in prison, and she just wants to go visit him, and they won't let her. And so that's an element. The wife is a character, a very, very strong character. And the sociopathic guy has a wife who's a strong character, and has that. So the women here are key to the story, and it so it has this happy ending of this, this executive being restored with his wife, they're sitting at the table at the very end of the movie. And again, spoiler alert, but she just says, "Oh, it's just nice to know that everything is back to normal." And the husband is sitting there, basically not too sure it is, And
Nice.
and then you're thinking, "Oh, all is well in 1926." So that's an amazing movie.
Isn't that still the Weimar Republic? In Germany, the Weimar Republic is one of the most creative in the 20th century.
Oh.
One of the most creative periods of time in any country's history in the modern age. The Bauhaus School of Architecture. Fritz Lang was making movies like Metropolis in 1927. Germany was the place to be.
Well, yeah, these movies, the ones that are really overtly crime-oriented, they draw on Fritz Lang quite a bit. And, Of course, he pretty much taught Americans how to make film noir.
Well, and also Murnau, Murnau doing things like Sunrise. The Germans were killing it in terms of filmmaking in the 20s.
Well, and that element is in the Marriage in the Shadows movie, because it's all about the arts and very talented people in the arts thinking, the politics is politics, and we're not going to worry about it. And they should have been. But they're not really constitutionally made to worry about something like that, because they're creative people. I just got to say, I have not been blown away by a group of movies like this in my recent memory. And nice. Right now, it's definitely my favorite box set of the year. And so sometimes you got to take your medicine.
What do you mean by that?
What I mean is, I'm a trash panda too, Dieter.
A cat in the back box, was it?
I did it because I felt like if somebody serious about movies should see this. If I'm serious about it, like there's all these movies that you like, Rob, the Antonioni and so on, that I kind of secretly think should be turned into guitar picks.
How dare you?
But,
how dare
so
you?
I'm not, I'm a noir guy. Remember, I like the crime, I like the action. I want James Bond, I want Mike Hammer, I want Shaft, and
you're like my friend director Michael Davis, who made Shoot 'Em Up. He'll tell you that.
Yeah, and but I feel like I want to be bigger than that. I want to be like Rob Burnett and have this appetite for all good art, because but I don't think I could afford to be Rob Burnett because of all the things I'd buy.
I can't afford to be Rob Burnett either.
It's an expensive proposition, isn't it?
It sucks. Thank you, Lisa Stevenson at Lionsgate.
Was it a totally blind buy for you, or did you do some research on the movie?
Well, I had, and Rob and I've talked about this. I had the science fiction box that he had mentioned. Yeah. I had the full box. I didn't have the
Deaf Crocodile.
And the Deaf Crocodile box is really cool, and I almost went with it, but I had to go with the one that had more movies. And my son and I watched those movies, and we really, really liked them. But content-wise, and these movies were made in I think we only watched the first two so far. I think they're made in the 50s. One's made in the 50s, and one is kind of contemporary with 2001, as you said.
Yeah.
Well, they're terrific in visually, but they're pretty dry.
Yeah, they were very dry.
Yeah, and these movies are just that you don't get more human than these movies. So sometimes a cat in the bag is a good thing to try.
It's always great when a cat in the bag can surprise you. Rebuilding after World War II books.
Now I'm working on, and I'll have for you next week, if you're nice enough to invite me back. I've got
I don't know. It's up to Dieter.
It's volume 4 of the World Noir.
Oh, from Kino Lorber.
No.
From Radiance.
Radiance.
From Radiance. I'm sorry. I stand corrected. Don't get mad. I knew it was Radiance. I was thinking of the French Noir, Volume 2, that's in the news section today, which is Kino Lorber. Radiance, our favorite Obi Sportin label from the UK. That, by the way, look, I wish if I was independently wealthy, I would subscribe to Radiance just to have them send me everything they put out.
Well, I think I skipped one of the boxes because I had several things already in it, and they're not cheap, but they're beautifully put together. And I got the Mabusa box set, for example, and that kind of paved the way to me thinking, well, if there's some German crime,
wait a minute, isn't the Mabusa box set Eureka too?
I think
Yeah,
that's kind of what made me think, well, I'm going to try this.
And they're putting out another one.
I don't know what that one is.
Another Mabusa box set.
Oh, really?
It's a re-release or something else, yeah.
Well, this next week we'll talk about this set from Radiance. It's 3 French noirs. And I've watched the first one, which is the Jean Gabin one, and just phenomenal. So we got good stuff coming next week as well. So,
and once again, that was Eureka's Masters of Cinema Rack and Ruin, just so people know.
How was the picture quality mix of the?
Well, it's really interesting, Dieter, because they all have disclaimers at the beginning of apologizing for how, and these movies were actually made on, like, the what is it when they make stuff that's the ends of?
It's called short ends.
Short ends.
So what they'll do, so people out there, when you were buying film to make your movie with, sometimes you would buy what's called short ends, which means this was film that was bought by a previous company to make movies, and they might have only used some of it.
Yeah.
So you get the whatever the remainder is in various lengths, so you never quite know how much is there, but it's cheap because the film company is just trying to get rid of this stuff, and a lot of low budget. This doesn't happen now because most things are shot digitally, but short ends can really save your life, or could save your life when you're making low budget movies.
Well, I guess they were making some movies in all 4 of the areas in Berlin, but it's fascinating to me that at least early on, the Soviets working with the German filmmakers were the most sort of liberal in allowing them to do all kinds of things. But the film was from the Soviet military leftovers of like their their film unit, and so I was just like kind of bracing myself. These films look terrific.
Yeah, look terrific. There's been a national, I don't know if it's paid for by the German government, but the restoration of these DIFA films has been top notch. And, one of the things I've always loved about Germany is they have the highest QC standards. Like when you're submitting a home video release, whether it's files or whatever, the Germans and Japanese, but the Germans are very strict in terms of you really have to meet their QC standards if you want them to release something. So,
well, I was a little glib about Rob's interest in some of the foreign films, but the fact is that there are, for somebody who's been watching movies as long as I have, the discoveries that you can make in the foreign films, where I mean, here we have 5 films that I love. I truly love these films. I had never heard of the directors. I knew one star. If it was based on a novel, I didn't know anything about it. So I'm kind of gleeful when I discover a movie I knew nothing about that I love. I mean, that's a part of the filmmaking.
Even still today, you can be surprised, Mix, with all the stuff that you've written and seen. That's great.
Well, I know. It's liking the old Hollywood movies. You sit down and here's maybe a movie starring James Stewart you never saw, and you think, well, I certainly would have heard of this if it was worth a damn. And then it turns out to be really good. Maybe not great, but really good. And you're sitting there and, 2025, seeing a James Stewart movie for the first time. That's a very big element in my filmmaking or film watching, I should say, enjoyment. So I'm happy to bring this box set to with Noir. What was it? There was why is this segment called True Noir though? I don't quite get that, 'cause I don't always
Max,
talk about noir,
I can tell you why it's called True Noir, because one of the things that I've most been proud of in my entire life is our collaboration. And of course, we have created a star-studded audio drama full of Emmy Award nominees and winners and Academy Award nominees called True Noir, The Assassination of Anton Cermak. That is, of course, I played a clip at the beginning of the show from it, but Max Allan Collins adapted his own, the first of the Nathan Heller, the 19-novel Nathan Heller series. Max adapted the first book, True Detective, into a 4.5-hour audio drama that I was privileged to direct, to produce, to edit with Max, and you can get it now at truenoir.co. We might have some we will have some very interesting distribution news, very exciting distribution news that everybody who hasn't got it yet, you'll be able to get it on all platforms. And we also have a movie that we're hoping to make called Dying in the Post-War World, and there's movement on that.
Yes,
so
sir.
We'll see where that will go. And because we don't just talk about movies here, we make them. And Max, you have a new movie out.
Do I? Oh, yes, I do.
Yes,
well, I have a movie. We just got distribution on Death by Fruitcake, which is not maybe as hard-boiled as some of the things that I do.
It's hard-boiled.
It's parboiled. It's my wife and I do a series. I think you know this, Rob, of kind of cozy mysteries that always have antiques in the title. And I thought, if I'm going to make a little indie film, why not promote something else of mine? And so it was fun to bring something Barbara and I have worked on together since 2006. She's also done 19 books in that particular series, to see it brought to life. And then, and it is, so it's a mystery novel series brought to life by one of the creators of that series. So I think that's pretty special. We just signed with the distributor, did all the deliverables, which is a lot, and that isn't fun.
Did Phil help out with those?
Yeah, he did. He wasn't the cinematographer, but he helped. He always has helped to me.
That would be Phil Dingledine, our other producer on True Noir, The Assassination of Anton Cermak, who also did all the great history behind the mystery documentary pieces that you did in support of that.
Was the DP on most of the stuff that when I was doing indie stuff in the mid 90s up to the early 2000s. He was always a cinematographer, and he was the DP on Blue Christmas, which is getting close to Christmas. So that is a noir. That is a noir title, and I happen to think it's probably the best movie anybody ever made for $8,000.
Well, there you go. I don't know what to say.
Schnäppchen.
Well, Max.
Well, yes,
it's always good to see you.
You're not getting rid of me just yet, because I have my report on some very exciting things happening at the Sea Wing.
Oh, well, let's hear what's because Dieter and I, we're a little curious. There's a lot of noises that we hear and screams and weird smells, Max.
Never ending complaints.
I mean,
well, first of all,
any complaints.
The Sextacular Suite has been a big success. There's a certain amount of expense at cleaning the overhead mirrors. And we've been running through lube like crazy. But overall, it's been a big success. So we're planning for next weekend. So check your calendar. We are going to have a tribute to Alfred Hitchcock. It's going to be the Psycho weekend at the Sea Wing, and we'll be having an outdoor showing of the film, and then all the guests who check in will get a very special surprise when they go into the bathroom and take a shower. We enlisted 13 young men, put them in dresses. They're all from the local community theater, and every man in any community theater likes to wear a dress. You know this. And it's just going to be very special. I'll report back to you on what kind of reaction we get.
I also hear there's a lot of stepmothers and sons doing some work with Pornhub and YouTube, or YouPorn there too. A lot of stepmothers and sons too. I want to get into
no comment.
I don't. I'm not real big on pornography as far as anybody knows, and
I'm certainly not real big either. I wish I was. That's why I'm a cunning linguist.
I can't help you out there, my friend.
I know.
But things are happening at the Sea Wing. So, as you know, although he likes to say he's just a worker bee, we know that he's actually he's a little ashamed of it, but he's the CEO. Dieter, you are the CEO of our enterprise, and when you see the kind of money it's going to be in your check after the success of our sextacular suite, I think there's going to be a big smile on your face.
That's always good. And Max, don't leave yet, because Double said in the live chat we should go to the super chat. So I think there are some super chats that consider.
Oh yes, I forgot about that. There's always people always want it. So Max, here we go. We got some super chats. First of all, let me get in on this. Let's see. Bo Edmond says hi to my physical media brothers, Rob, Dieter, and Max. That's good. Paul Allen Bernardo says, Rob, remember the 1973 TV movie A Cold Night's Death with Robert Culp and Eli Wallach? I do, actually. A chilling thriller, so good, and it's on DVD, but not on Blu-ray. Well, that's always a bummer. But, it's actually a good movie. Warner Archive had so many of those TV movies out on DVD before they had them on Blu-ray, but maybe we'll see it. Renee Beans, we know who that is, has become a new Imagination Connoisseur member. Major Chai Chai sent out gift memberships, and so did Renee Beans, so that's good. And Castle Grayskull sent 5 more Burnettwork gift memberships, and so did Brujo. So I really appreciate that. Alvaro Zynos Amaro says, I love how Max diligently works his way through these box sets and reports back with insights. And reminder for later, my letter for Dieter to read. Dieter, I sent you that letter. I don't know if you...
Rob informed me again. Yeah.
So
there are some pretty crucial words here.
We can't wait to hear you read this. I got to say, when I first read Alvaro's letter, I busted up laughing. So, not to flog a dead horse when he's down, but I'm just saying. Stubble McShave sends in a tip and says, I watched Dial M for Murder. I hadn't seen it for 30 years, and I didn't remember it. Looked a bit dated during the opening credits, but 5 minutes in, I was hooked. A really great movie, not a dull moment. Max, what do you think of Dial M for Murder?
Well, I really love it in 3D.
Yeah.
And it was one of the few releases that came out. That's Warner Brothers, isn't it?
It's not Universal. It might be. Let's find out.
Because most of Hitchcock's stuff from that period is Paramount. But
yeah, it's Paramount. Yeah.
so we, but they did release that on, Blu-ray 3D, and
Yeah.
it's a honey. I mean, and
You're right. You are right. I should never doubt you. It is Warner Brothers.
And one of the things I like about it is that there's so few at the camera effects, but when they come, they really hit you in your midsection or other places on your body. I love that movie. It might be my least favorite of that run of really great movies that he did. But that's not putting it down, because we're talking about Rear Window and Vertigo. It's really,
those are Paramount movies,
and those are all Paramount movies. And and I think that the Hitchcock movie, I'm shorting out on myself, but Dial M for Murder was not released to too many theaters in 3D at the time.
No, it was mostly 2D, even though it was shot in 3D.
Right. And so actually it was really a nice thing that Warner Brothers did bring it out on Blu-ray 3D to see how it was originally done.
Yeah,
because
it was at the tail end of the 3D craze. So that's
it was a 3D, it was a play. And he did not open it up much at all.
Yeah,
it mostly takes place in that apartment, or even it might be the library of the apartment. So it has that kind of stagey quality, which just is not anything that you get from Hitchcock except in his earliest British films. But he's my favorite director. He is absolutely. I mean, it's not a great revelation that I like Hitchcock, but I mean, you can learn anything you need to learn about filmmaking by looking at his movies.
Oh yeah, 100%.
It's all there. That's the school every director should go to.
Yeah. Well, Max, the time has come.
And we did it in an hour.
Unbelievable.
Exactly an hour. And if Dieter hadn't been so long-winded, this would have been much shorter,
It's true. But an important box set to talk about, so it's great that we got to shine a light where it deserves. And everyone check out, Eureka, again, one of these boutique labels that for years and years and years has been putting out banger after banger after banger. The UK, I mean, we talk about all these American companies, but BFI, Eureka, 88 Films, Dieter. I did order The Cat.
Awesome.
I also ordered SS Experiment Camp.
Ooh.
Which is, of course, AKA known in the U.S. as Nazi Love Camp, a movie that if they ever look at my order list of films that I own, that's when the stormtroopers are going to come through the door and take my physical media collection. I'm so ashamed, but I had to go for the original, where it had the Nazi officer and the crucified woman who was upside down. I had to go for that's a website exclusive, so I had to go for that cover. You go, 88 Films.
One of the things I admire most about you, Rob, is your keen interest in history.
What can I say?
Lovely.
And
Ilsa, great documentaries.
Ilsa is coming soon.
Ilsa coming out on 4K. Two of the 4 Ilsa movies Kino Lorber's already announced. We'll see if they do. And the best, everyone knows the best one is She-Wolf of the SS. I mean, it really is.
Well, God bless Kino Lorber.
Bless.
I feel guilty for not. I feel guilty for not doing any of their stuff. But we'll have I'll do 5 or 6 of them at a time in a few weeks, probably.
Yeah, but look, we talked about their airport movies. I mean, Kino Lorber. I talked about Dogtooth coming out. From Yorgos Lanthimos' movie. Dieter talked about Kino Lorber releases this week. We love Kino Lorber. Every week we talk about Kino Lorber. We love him.
Well, I want to thank, I forget which of the correspondents included me as the third stooge, basically. And I feel like Walter Koenig coming on board Star Trek in the 2nd season.
Well, you have his haircut, kind of.
Yeah.
You look You're a Beatle.
I know him. He's a friend of mine, actually. Not a close friend, but he's the first person who worked on Star Trek, one of the stars who I ever actually kind of got to know.
Yeah.
Because I was as much of an insane fan of the original series as you, Rob, which is saying something.
I know, but that's why you got that rock and roll haircut from the 60s, man, with the glasses. Yeah. It's a great look.
I haven't seen any reason to change it.
Why? It's dude, now it's vintage and it looks stylish and awesome. So why change it?
No.
Unique.
Well, I do it over to the side a little bit. It used to be strictly Mo, John Lennon and
over
Mo.
the side, it's good.
Happy you can still do that, Max.
I wish I could still rock the Simon Le Bon Wild Boys video, long hair, but I can't do that. I mean,
We use what
and
we
Dieter
got.
can't. He doesn't even know what we're talking about right now.
Yeah. What are you talking about? Here?
Well,
Today, gone tomorrow. So,
Yeah.
all right, gentlemen.
Max.
Thank you for having me. I got some toilets to clean at the Sea Wing.
Yeah,
So,
that's a hard job.
It's a dirty job,
But somebody's got to do it, Max.
Somebody's gotta do it.
gotta do it.
That's
The thing
right.
is, most of the time you're cleaning blood, and the stuff people think they can just flush away down the toilets. When will they ever learn it doesn't work that way?
I'll be cleaning up other things when people get surprised by that little shower surprise I've got for each of them.
Love it. All right,
All right,
Max.
guys. I hope I'll see you next week.
You will.
Next week.
Hope you will. You'll be here.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and
Considering
girls.
Rob-
Oh, yes. Yes,
Considering,
Dietz.
considering Max loves the crime stuff, you need to get me his address. I need to send Max bang, boom, bang.
Oh, you
Just
do
saying.
need to send him.
Just saying.
You do need to send Max bang. Yes, you do.
Boom, bang.
We will do that.
Yeah.
And
And Rob, you reminded me of that letter that I should read.
yes,
I would
there
try
is
to-
a letter from Alvaro
Yeah.
Zainos Amaro, who is a great man, a great author. I think it's time because this letter, I have to say, let me preface this letter by saying I was reading it and I actually belly laughed. I was all alone, belly laughed
can imagine.
aloud. And I have to say, I can't wait to have Dieter read this letter live on this show.
Yeah, and stumble through the heavy wording here. Yeah.
Okay, you stop.
That
Yeah,
will be-
there's a lot of. He is a writer himself, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah.
Equimedian, his novel you can go get at Amazon right now. He's working on a horror novel. But yes, it is a very loquacious letter, and
I try my best, Rob.
All right,
My best.
I give
I hope
you the
that-
floor.
I hope the connection will stay here with me. From Alvaro Sinos Amaro. He says, feel free to have Dieter read this one live on Let's Get Physical Media. Here I go. During the power struggle between the Holy Roman Empire and the papacy over the appointment of church officials, a conflict known as the investiture controversy in 1076, Holy Roman Emperor Henry V defied Pope Gregory VII's authority by convening a synod at Worms that demanded the Pope's abdication. As a result, the Pope excommunicated Henry V in February 1076, releasing his subjects from their oath of allegiance. In order to try and have the excommunication lifted and avert further rebellion among German nobles, Henry traveled all the way to Canossa Castle in northern Italy in January of 1077, where the Pope was staying as a guest of Margravine Matilda of Tuscany. Once there, Henry V stood barefoot in the snow for 3 days, from January 25 to 27, dressed in a hair shirt, fasting and begging forgiveness. 3 days. Talk about a dramatic act of penance. On January 28, the Pope absolved him, though the reconciliation proved temporary as the broader conflict continued. This episode of history is so iconic that the phrase to go to Canossa, in German, Gang nach Canossa, still means to make a humiliating apology or act of submission today. This is the preamble to what he's actually referring to now. Even if he stood it barefoot in the snow, not for 3 days, but for 30, Rennie Harlan's public shame and apology would still be insufficient to merit absolution for the abomination I just saw in the theater. The Strangers, Chapter 2. I don't think there's any amount of submission Harlan could demonstrate that would convince the Christendom or fandom to forgive him for these filmic sins. Remember this next time a bitterly disappointed fan curses within earshot, Rennie Harlan can go to hell. If you have the opportunity, smile and with other sweet politeness say, if I make a suggestion in this case, hell is too generic. Rennie Harlan can go to Canossa instead. Best Alvaro. So one more of all the people wasn't too thrilled with The Strangers Chapter 2. Rob.
Well, I want it to succeed because Roy Lee was a producer on that, of course. You know, I want my friends to succeed. And look, I still want Rennie Harlan to come on this show. You know, we talked about he had The Long Kiss Goodnight and he had Deep Blue Sea come out from Arrow. Arrow continues to do a man's job. We're going to talk more about them just soon, but I want to thank Alvaro.
Love to see his movie Mindhunter getting a new 4K release.
Oh, is it really?
No. No, I would hope. This is one of the
maybe.
movies that I'm
Maybe.
missing.
You know, I mean, I want to see. Look, I want to see the director's cut of the Adventures. Look, the two movies. Can I just say the two movies that Silver Pictures should facilitate getting extended versions are The Adventures of Ford Fairlane and Predator 2. They're both
urban legend.
They're both 20th century titles. Maybe I'll drop a line to Steve Asbell and be like, "Bro, I don't know how you justify what it would cost to spend to make those movies. You know, do the extent." Bring was Stephen Hopkins directed Predator 2?
Yeah,
you got
correct.
I'll tell you something. You know I know about this? I met Stephen Hopkins at Golden Apple Comics. And I want to say in the mid-90s, and we ended up walking down the street. We left the comic store and we had a really nice conversation. What a sweet guy. But he was telling me all about this, how Predator 2 was cut down to the bone and it was a half an hour longer and it was much better and we should do that. I saw the extended version of Ford Fairlane at a test screening, which I really liked. And when I saw the movie, I was a little shocked that they cut it to ribbons. So I would like to see both of those films. Both of those films are Silver Pictures productions. Let's get them on disc.
That would be one of my questions to Rennie Rob. If he had a chance to go back to one of his movies to change something, do a new cut, which movie would that be, actually?
Good question.
No.
Well, Dietz, are you interested in hearing what's in the news this week? What news has been fit to print?
Give it to me, Bobby.
I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you, buddy. First of all, of course, we've got Cheech and Chong's last movie coming out as a limited edition 4K Ultra HD Steelbook, and it includes never-before-seen bonus features, so that's good. Then, of course, F1 is coming out with 3 different Steelbooks. This is my favorite because you've got your John Player special-looking Lotus.
Mine too, Rob. The vintage one.
The vintage one, love it because I love the John Player special because I had the Corgi version of it when I was.
And the other twos are great steelbooks, great looking steelbooks too.
Yeah, they're all good. Really like this movie. This is going to really give your system a workout. So hey, then we're getting a from Studio Canal a 4K version of Murder in the First, directed by Mark Rocco, Christian Slater, Kevin Bacon. This movie is, I would say, I don't love this movie. I love courtroom dramas and all that, but this movie is way over-directed, if I can say that.
Ooh.
So, but hey, it's coming out from Studio Canal. You know, we're getting down to the dregs of it all. All these studio movies that haven't come out. Look, we're getting these. Hey, if you like this, people might like this. It's good. It's a good movie. I just think it's over-directed. The Texas Rangers. Now, I didn't know anything about the Texas Rangers, but the Texas Rangers is, of course, coming out from Kino Lorber. And this is from 1936, and it stars Fred McMurray. And back when everyone knew who the Texas Rangers even were. And this is a 4K restoration done by Universal Pictures. And
Nice.
so there you go. The Texas Rangers, that's coming out. That's
Not Paramount. Not Paramount.
No,
though,
this is
because
a
it says
Universal-
Paramount picture.
Nope,
Okay.
I know it says Paramount on it, and of course directed by
Yeah.
King Vidor, and but yeah, Universal did the restoration. Maybe they
Universal,
own it
okay.
now. Universal
Yeah.
and their film foundation did the restoration. Then, of course, we come to Arrow. Arrow cranking up the bangers. Arrow does, and by the way, Arrow does. They don't always use the transfers. They sometimes accentuate the transfers using fidelity and motion. And apparently, The Thief 4K is a little better than Criterion. Just saying.
Okay.
You know, I bought them both, but I'm just saying. Arrow, Arrow, Arrow. And here's a box set that everybody loves. I will not be buying. I do not have to apologize. I will not be buying this box set. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We talked about it before. It's coming out. The trilogy box set. I'm happy that people love this. Good
Yeah,
for
sure.
them. You know, it's coming out. Hey. There you go. Wow, there's a new...
Rob, were those movies even released on Blu-ray? I have no idea at the moment.
You know, to be honest, I don't know fuck all about... I mean, I saw the
Perhaps-
first Teenage Mutant.
yeah,
I have no interest.
Perhaps the first one, but I didn't even remember the movies being released at all on Blu-ray before that.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of really does it even matter? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people love these movies the same way. See, to me, I look at these movies and I'm like, the same people that love the Goonies love these movies, and I don't begrudge them that.
Put them all in the same bag. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't begrudge them at all. That, and I'm happy that Arrow is giving them this, and I'm sure it's going to be a big hit for them. So,
No.
what can I
Good.
say? Good for you. You're getting everything you want. So it's coming out, and I'm happy for you. Truly, I am happy for you. Then we've got coming out from Arrow. We've got this, and this is a new. I mean, I guess it's a Giallo movie. I mean, I'm not.
Looks like it, Rob.
Yeah, it's
Hanging in the window here.
yeah. This one is called The House with the Laughing Windows. And it's here, while typically famed for its lurid Technicolor hues and grand guignol murders, this Italian giallo thriller has a less bombastic side as well, erring less towards exploitation than to art. These lesser-seemed gems, often some of the greatest rewards for adventurous viewers among them. 1976 is The House with the Laughing Windows, directed and co-written by Pupi Avati, and he rises to the cream of the crop. So here you go. And it's often counted among the greatest gialli ever. The House with the Laughing Windows offers a uniquely eerie twist on the genre, culminating in an unforgettable ending that will remain with you long after the credits have rolled. So, it's its North American 4K debut. Go Arrow. Now, as we know, Dietz, Arrow is also going to be releasing in the UK all of the Golden Princess titles that Shout has.
Yeah, correct.
And so we already bought City on Fire. Here is their version of City on Fire. And City on Fire, I mean, this is very, very cool. Now this has Dolby Vision and HDR. I'm not sure. I don't know if the one I already bought does, but I love these extra covers. I might have to go with these
Can't
Arrow.
tell you either, Rob.
I have to go with these Arrow
Considering Dolby
remasters,
Vision.
man. I think I'm gonna wait because I love their slipcases. I look at that artwork; it's dope.
Yeah, the artwork is great.
Now, here's one of my favorite releases of the week. This is a fictional film about the hip hop scene in New York City that came out in 1983. That deals with hip hop and it deals with graffiti artists. I saw this movie theatrically when it first came out. Charlie Ahern and downtown artist Fred Braithwaite ventured uptown with the aim of capturing an exciting new underground scene that was happening in the South Bronx. A scene that featured graffiti artists, breakdancing b-boys, and 2 turntables and a microphone. The result was wild style, and to many viewers, it was their first glimpse of the musical and cultural phenomenon called hip-hop. And in this unique hybrid of fiction and documentary, the story of lone graffiti artist Lee Zorro Quinones tried to achieve success in his own terms, is brought to vivid life with support by Fred Fab Five Freddy Braithwaite, Sandra Lady Pink Fabara, and Patty Astor, and with historic musical performances by such luminaries as Grandmaster Flash, Busy Bee, the Fantastic Five, the Cold Crush Brothers, and the Rocksteady Crew. To create the score, Chris Stein, Blondie, would collaborate with Braithwaite to produce the actual breakbeats to be used in the film, an inspired decision that would provide a source of obsession among crate diggers for decades to come. Endlessly sampled, imitated, and debated wild style is the truest portrait of the hip-hop scene during its early years, and it remains one of the most important music films ever made. I love this movie when I saw it. This is a 4K restoration of this disc. I cannot wait to get it. Now, what I've been waiting for, Deets, for those of you who have been digging the Shaw Scope discs, the Shaw Brothers movies that Arrow's brought to us, we get to Volume 4. And why is Volume 4 my most eagerly awaited? Because it's all sci-fi, horror, and fantasy, including my favorite Shaw Brothers movie, The Super Inframan. And this box set has some amazing bangers in it. Some great, great, great films. Now, these are not 4K discs because of the quality of what is available, but man, I mean, there's so many great movies in this box set. Can't wait to get it, but mostly because I want the Super Inframan yet again. I think I bought it 6 times or whatever, but still, not like this. Look at that artwork right there. They know what's up. They're featuring that. Can't wait to get this. So Arrow, another great bunch of releases.
That's some Deep Purple right here.
It's true, man. That's some smoke on the water. French Noir Collection number 2. The first one, I didn't get the Blu-ray for the first one. I only got the DVD. Maybe the first one was only DVD. French Noir Collection.
Is this the one Max was talking about, Rob?
No. This is from Kino Lorber. That's what I thought he was talking about at first. He's talking about a release from Radiance.
Radiance, yeah.
This is different than that, and this comes out November 25th. And French Noir Collection number 2 has Rhine Virgins from 1953. The Beast is Loose, a.k.a. The Tiger Attacks from 59. Trapped by Fear from 60. The Passion of Slow Fire from 61. And it's got all kinds. There's new 4K restorations of these. There's new audio commentaries. And guess what? The audio commentary for The Rhine Virgin comes from who? Mystery writer and filmmaker Max Allen Collins.
Ooh.
And Serial at Midnight podcast host Heath Holland, who's been here. That's right. So it's coming out. More of Max Allen Collins' work. So that's pretty cool. Now, you might help me with the pronunciation of by the way, here are the films in that set. There they are.
Yeah.
God, I love this Italian artwork. Ugh, gets me every time. Now, is this a German word? Malpertuis?
Malpertuis. Rob doesn't ring a bell, actually.
Well, German label Cinema Obscura has informed us, or informed Blu-ray.com, that is preparing a 4K Blu-ray and Blu-ray release of Harry Kumel's, which, by the way, Daughters of Darkness, a.k.a. The Legend of Doomhouse, starring Orson Welles, Susan Hampshire. The releases are expected to arrive. From the director of Daughters of Darkness comes Malpertuis. A young sailor finds himself trapped in the labyrinthian mansion of his occultist uncle, along with a number of eccentric and mysterious relatives who all seem to be harboring a dark secret. Hey, that's coming out from a German label called Camera Obscura. Hey, why not? Sounds good to me, right?
I see here, Rob. It's a Belgian translation.
Yes, and that's
of a novel. So perhaps it's a Belgian.
Daughters of Darkness is Belgian too. So maybe there's some lesbian vampire action. Who knows? I don't know. Then we've got Tix. We're getting down to it, man. I don't know. Tix, Screenbound Pictures in the UK is preparing a 4K Blu-ray release of Tony Randall's Tix from 1993, starring Amy Dolan, Seth Green, Peter Scolari, Clint Howard, and Rance Howard. This release is scheduled to arrive on November 10th. Tix. It's got special features, a group of campers and social
Vinegar
workers.
Syndrome had already a nice box set of ticks, but I don't believe it was 4K.
No, this
I
is
think it was
4K.
just Blu-ray.
They set out
Yeah,
on a
this
wilderness retreat in the woods. As soon as they start settling down, they get attacked by a horde of bloodthirsty, mutated giant ticks. So there you go. It's kind of a hoot, if that's what you want. And then we've got Garden of Love. Garden of Love is coming out from Unearthed Films. They always release something. They're putting out a Blu-ray of Olaf Hittenbach's
Olaf Hittenbach.
Yeah. Do you know Olaf Hittenbach?
Yeah, Rob.
The story of a young woman
No.
tormented by bloody visions of a past she can't really remember. All she knows is that all of her family was slaughtered when she was very young. The spirits of the dead lust for vengeance, and they want Rebecca to guide those responsible to them. Rebecca reluctantly agrees, and the blood-spurting chaos continues. So there you go. Do you know this movie?
No, Rob. No.
Well, following on the heels of Arrow, we come to Umbrella with their new logo that I don't really like, but I like Umbrella. Umbrella with their big expensive box sets that we all love, but they're expensive to ship to the States or anywhere else in the world. They have the Toxic Avenger box set. For you Toxic Avenger completists, everything you could ever want from the Toxic Avenger is in this Toxic Avenger box set. It is, I mean, who doesn't want this? It's the Tox box, the complete Toxic Avenger. It has the Toxic Avenger from 85, the Toxic Avenger Part 2 from 89, the Toxic Avenger Part 3, The Last Temptation of Toxie from 89, Citizen Toxie, the Toxic Avenger Part 4 from 2000, and this year's The Toxic Avenger, all coming out in one big box set, the Tox box, coming to you from the newly logoed Umbrella. I'm sure the disc is going to look great. The films are going to look great. By the way, I didn't mention this last week.
Yeah.
Umbrella is doing their own 4K. They're doing a new transfer themselves. They're overseeing a new transfer of Christopher Nolan's Memento.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I've seen that in the subscriber newsletter that they come out with Memento, but I was thinking that would be the same that we already.
They haven't announced it yet, but I got that one box set. Somebody in the UK put that out? Was that 88 Films? I don't know who put that out. That Memento box set. I forget, but they did.
101? Wasn't it 101?
101? Yeah, maybe it was 101. Yep. And now we have this. This is Infernal Affairs, the entire Infernal Affairs trilogy in 4K. This is coming out. Obviously, the movie The Departed was based on Infernal Affairs 1. Yeah. This is Infernal Affairs 1, 2, and 3 in a new box set. We know that Shout's putting this out as well. So this is pretty cool. Dolby Vision and HDR presentations of all of these. All kinds of special features. And very exciting. And look, you could get the Shout version, I guess. Or you could get the Arrow version. Or get this version. If they're putting it out, I'm not sure. But pretty cool. Their box sets are great. Then we have Kiwi Cult. Kiwi Cult. This is Kiwi Cult Volume 2, Darkness Inside. Jack Benimble from 1993. Crooked Earth from 2001. And I think there's one more. And The Scarecrow from 82.
Yeah.
So there you go. Hey, another Kiwi Cult box set. What's not to love? The answer is nothing. Nothing is not to love. Love it all. And then we have Cashback, a movie I know nothing about. It must be an Australian film, but it's from director Sean Ellis, who made The Cut and Anthropoid. Yeah. Cashback follows art student Ben Willis, who finds himself unable to sleep after a painful breakup. To pass the long nights, he takes a late shift at a local supermarket where time seems to stretch endlessly, and amid fluorescent aisles of eccentric coworkers, Ben discovers an unusual way of coping with insomnia by letting his imagination transform the ordinary into something extraordinary. That sounds like it could be pretty good. Wouldn't want to miss that. Then we have Tourist Trap, one of my favorite early Charles Band produced movies. I like Tourist Trap a lot. Mr. Slauson, great Pino Donaggio score. Might have to get this. Tourist Trap in 4K. I bet they did a great job putting this one out. I bet it looks
Are
phenomenal.
you sure 4K, Rob? I only see a Blu-ray here.
Oh, really? Am I wrong? I thought it was 4K. Why wouldn't it be 4K?
I'm not sure, Rob. I only see a Blu-ray here, and I only see one disc.
Oh, you're
Blu-ray
right. It's not
MRA case.
4K. God damn. Well, that's too bad.
Sorry, Rob.
Anyway, hey, it's Tourist Trap in a big box set. It's not 4K, but it's Tourist Trap. Then finally, we have Wasabi. Wasabi is a movie that it comes with it's a collector's edition bundle. It's got a rigid outer box, a slipcase, art cards, reversible poster. I mean, again, what is not to love? So Wasabi, when hard-hitting French detective Jean Renault is dropped into Tokyo for the funeral of his long-lost love, he brings fists, attitude, and zero patience. But in a city where nothing is what it seems, he'll need more than brute force to uncover the truth. So there you
I
go.
remember owning the movie, but the memories has very, very
It
faded.
faded. I know. It's terrible. Then we come to Eureka. We have a triple threat, 3 Sammo Hung movies. Excuse me, I'm sorry.
Gesundheit.
Thank you very much. Announced its December batch of releases. They are Apache and Triple Threat, 3 films with Sammo Hung. So, Eureka usually does a fantastic job. And so there you go. There's in Wu Ma's The Manchu Boxer. He's in that. And I don't even know what to say. It doesn't even
Paper
list.
Marriage and
There's The Manchu Boxer.
Shanghai.
There's Paper Marriage. And there's Shanghai in this box set. And there's all kinds of special features. They usually do. It's Eureka. They do an incredible job. So what's not to love? They're also putting out...
Could be wrong, Rob. I could be wrong, but considering the titles, I don't remember those being released separately or before.
Yeah,
They look new to me.
they probably are. So that's great. And then we've got Burt Lancaster as Apache. It looks like, once again, casting a white dude to play indigenous people. Actually, perhaps best known for his iconic film noir effort, Kiss Me Deadly, which Max loves. His unsettling psychological horror film, Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, and his action-packed war movie, The Dirty Dozen. The celebrated American director Robert Aldrich was also an accomplished director of westerns. Among his best are Vera Cruz, The Last Sunset, and the very first foray into the genre, the Burt Lancaster vehicle, Apache. So there you go. Well, that's Robert Aldrich. You had me at hello. And then we have another new version from Arrow of The Good, the Bad, and the Weird. I think did the first one only come out in
This is
the UK?
probably the same, Rob, only it comes out in the US.
Oh, US, and there you go. That's
Because
the same
It
thing,
was
yeah.
previously UK.
UK only.
It seems
So there we go. We're getting it in the US. That's cool.
Awesome.
That's Arrow, what
Awesome.
Arrow has coming to us. Then, of course, we're getting a steelbook for Anaconda in support of the new comedy. So if you want that, hey, Anaconda is for you. Now, here's another really interesting box set. Now, this comes to us.
Yeah.
This comes to us from we were talking about earlier, Deaf Crocodile. So Deaf Crocodile is putting out this, and Bridget Helm again. Bridget Helm, is that Allround? Allround? How do you pronounce that? Do you know?
Allrounder, yeah.
This is a Woman of Destiny from 1927. Deranged Weimar. Okay, now listen to this. Tell me if you think I want to buy this. Deranged Weimar-era erotic sci-fi horror starring Bridget Helm, who played Maria in Fritz Lang's Metropolis, as the unholy offspring of a genetics experiment conducted by her scientist father. The Golem in both the 1950s... who implants the semen of a hanged man in the womb of a prostitute. I kid you not, that's what this movie's about. Alrain literally translates as mandrake. An old legend states that human-like mandrake roots grow under the gallows where the sperm of hanged men touches Mother Earth. As an adult, the lithe, sinuous Helm, with her weirdly magnetic gaze and Modigliani-like features, drives men to suicide and madness, including her own pseudo-father, who succumbs to an incestuous obsession with her. Beautifully shot by cinematographer Franz Planer, who also photographed Letter from an Unknown Woman in crisscross with gorgeous restored color tinting. Alrain is a cascade of decadent imagery. Hanged bodies in cemeteries, nightmare alley-like circuses, opulent casinos, and more. A remarkable, long-unseen German silent sci-fi horror gem from Galeen, fueled by stellar performances by Helmut Wagner. Score by Sabrina Zimmerman and Mark Prigolsky. You had me at hello. Come on. I'm not in this. You go, Deaf Crocodile. It also comes with Der Student von Prague, the student of Prague. Conrad Veidt. The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari in Casablanca stars as a hell-raising student who sells his soul to the devil in the form of a wizened old man named Scapini. But Veidt hasn't bargained on meeting his own evil doppelganger who literally steps out of a mirror Cocteau-like and starts to take over his life. Okay, who doesn't want this box set? My God. I'm in. You go, Deaf Crocodile. Then, of course, we have the Alec Guinness box set from Kino Lorber of all 4 of these movies. The Alec Guinness Masterpiece Collection. Kino Lorber released big box sets of some of these. Kind Hearts and Coronets, The Lavender Hill Mob, The Man in the White Suit, and The Lady Killers. This is a must-own, all in one big box from Kino Lorber. Who wouldn't want it? Then we have This Is For 1001 Johnny, Ultraman 4K Discovery. Alliance Entertainment is releasing on this 4K Ultraman, the fantasy tokusatsu series. This 2-disc set is scheduled to arrive on November 18th. And then I just threw this in because it's the anti-Dieter.
Yeah.
Luciano Pavarotti is live because I know how much you love opera. Mercury Studios has announced that it will release a Blu-ray of Pavarotti live at Langland. This release is scheduled to arrive on the market on November 21st. I know you're going to put that right next to your heavy metal releases, I can tell. Then we've got Dragon Ball Super Broly, the Steelbook. If you want that, there it is. Yeah. Then Imprint is re-releasing. Obviously, we already have the 4Ks from Lionsgate Limited. They're re-releasing these in one big box set with a lenticular limited edition 4K of Kill Bill Volumes 1 and 2 with books and all kinds of extra swag that weren't in the Lionsgate releases, but pretty cool. Go Imprint. Then we've got Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island, which is a big special edition release, like a box set.
Yeah.
And Warner Brothers Home Entertainment will issue a collector's edition of Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island from 1998, coming out just a few days before Halloween. So go Warner Brothers. Then we have Rabbit Trap. I saw the trailer for this movie.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. Magnolia's putting out. It looks great to me. I can't wait to see this. So this movie really looked great. Folk horror at its finest. Ongoing in their Oliver Stone oeuvre, they're putting out Savages over at Shout. I really love this movie based on Don Winslow's novel. I really like this movie a lot. It's not everyone's cup of tea, but I love it. I will definitely get this in 4K. So why not? There it is. Kino Lorber is also putting out the Gracie Allen murder case. If that's something you are interested in. Kino Lorber is preparing a Blu-ray release of Alfred E. Green's The Gracie Allen Murder Case from 1939, starring Gracie Allen. So, there you go. George Burns and Gracie Allen. Familiar Touch comes out from Music Box Films, and this is Sarah Friedland's Familiar Touch from 2024. This comes out again October 28th. I don't know really anything about this. Ruth, an older woman with dementia, leaves her home for a date, but what she thinks is a hotel turns out to be an assisted living facility, and she must contend with an array of new faces, routines, and surroundings. This coming-of-old-age story compassionately follows the winding path of Ruth's shifting memories and desires while remaining rooted in her sage perspective. So there you go. Let's look at the charts this week. Top-selling Blu-ray discs, all formats. Jurassic World Rebirth. That's Rebirth. Ballerina. Look, you got two of the top titles. Nice. Tron, I got that one. The Dark Knight Trilogy in that Steelbook box set. Tron Legacy, This is Spinal Tap, How to Train Your Dragon, Elio, Lilo and Stitch, and Halloween. Then 4K only, Jurassic World, Ballerina, Tron Legacy, The Dark Knight Trilogy, This is Spinal Tap, Halloween, Krull, Long Legs, and How to Train Your Dragon. And that's
considering
it,
this chart, Rob, considering this chart, it shows why we always start with the box office. Very good box office. Normally, not always, relates to good sales later. And Jurassic World.
And also,
is,
you'd think that
one.
good theatrical release means success on screening.
Yeah.
I mean, on streaming.
Yeah, correct. So
there you go,
really,
buddy.
Really nice. And I looked it up, Rob, because I wasn't sure about Alraune means mandrake in English, Rob.
Right.
You know the movie that you showed? It's mandrake in English.
I got to get that from Deaf Crocodile.
Yeah.
So
it sounds even more bonkers than the cat, Rob.
I know, and it's from 1927 before they had codes.
Yeah. Do we have some super chats left, Bob?
Yeah, let's look. Let's see what
before your voice can take a
I
short break.
I know it's a little rough. I apologize that. I apologize.
No, actually not, Rob. It's actually
not. Let's see what we've got. Hang on, let me get down there. Oh, I got Alvaro. Yeah, Thomas Logan says the biggest problem the physical media market is having now, shit's selling out too fast. The one battle after another, Steelbook sold out in 2 hours. It's been in theaters for 2 days. Yeah, well, who would have thought we would live in an age where the major motion picture studios can't get their act together when it comes to physical media, so every major studio release has become a chore to get, whereas our boutique labels are taking care of us. This, by the way, you ask, why is Hollywood failing? Or why does Hollywood not know what's up? Well, they don't. And the physical media, I mean, they're like the Tron discs were impossible to get. The Night of the Living Dead Steelbook with the extended version.
A lot of releases get pushed.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to get that. You can't get these things. Yeah. You know, we've seen Tombstone was difficult to get. Master and Commander was difficult to get. Kingdom of Heaven was difficult to get. Because there's only one replication facility in North America. You can go to Mexico. There's only a place in Mexico, and they're not replicating. They want to pretend physical media is dead. Well, it's not dead yet, and they're leaving money on the table. It's unbelievable to me. Warner Archive gets out all their stuff on time. They get all their stuff out because they're producing less stuff, but they're getting it out. So, again, if you let George Feltenstein take care of everybody's needs, you know how Sony's releasing. Sony can't keep up with the demand of this stuff.
Yeah.
Lionsgate Limited seems to be.
Like I told you, Rob, I had such a hard time to get the Deep Purple set, made in Japan. I now finally got a second one for a friend of mine. It will come to the market, but they need to, manufacture it again.
No, and they don't know what they're doing because there's nobody left in home entertainment that knows what the fuck is up at the major motion picture studios except George Feltenstein. And it's really frustrating. Thank God Paramount's entire library is pretty much being raped by all these, and I mean that in a good way, by all of these boutique labels like Vinegar Syndrome, like Kino Lorber. The Keep, which is a Paramount movie, came out. We got it both by Vinegar Syndrome and then, of course, Down Under. Was that Umbrella? Or was that Imprint?
I think it was Imprint, Rob.
Yeah, it was Imprint, the big box set with the crucifix. I mean, it's amazing to me that already the studios are just licensing out their movies to whoever wants them. But when they do put out something of note, why can Disney? Sony should know better. I mean, Sony's putting out a lot of great stuff. The Quick and the Dead Steelbook's coming out. Silverado, the Steelbook's coming out. But Silverado has been out of print since the media book that was put out. You think people don't want that? They want that. People want Silverado. I bet it's impossible to get when it comes out. Tron,
it's gotten delayed, Rob. Just before the show, I went to one of my German news sites who said it's been in Germany. The German release is delayed to end of November.
Yeah, because they can't replicate. They can't meet the demand.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And that's kind of a sorry state of affairs, really. But
it's sorry, but actually, good too, Rob. They still have work to do.
It's true. I mean, that is, yes, that's a great way to look at it. It's just frustrating because, I never thought I would have a problem getting big releases in the format I want them.
Yeah.
And you have to turn to eBay and pay a premium. Luckily, it's not that much of a premium. I mean, but still, if you want to get stuff.
As an example, Rob, I pre-ordered the Weapon Steelbook on Amazon Germany, just as normal, but I did get a cancellation, Rob, for it.
I mean,
canceled.
It's insane that a Warner Brothers movie would just get canceled. A movie that made a $38 million movie that made $250 million worldwide. Like, what do they think is going on? This is my problem. No one at the studios know what's happening, which is the problem with so much of America right now. We have people on every level that are, they're just not. They're not qualified to be doing the jobs they've been hired to do. We see that certainly in our federal government right now. And there is so much dysfunction because they've gotten rid of all the institutional knowledge because that's expensive. When you keep people around that know what they're doing, they're the first to go because they cost a lot. Well, at the end of the day, how much money are you leaving on the table? Have you done a cost analysis by when consumers aren't happy because they can't get what should be a great mainstream product? It's so frustrating.
No. Yeah.
Anyway,
are you caught up, Rob?
I am caught up.
With okay, then I would say, can take a short break. I hope my connection will be stable for the live chat. And I say previously on Let's Get Physical Media. Michelle D. I got my Tron and Legacy Steelbooks on release date, but the Legacy Steelbooks was smashed to hell. No, not new. And Amazon has no replacements. Yeah, that's the situation at the moment. Mr. Gonzal says, for me, Criterion, Vinegar Syndrome, and Orbit when it comes to packaging. Thomas Logan, Maxine was the biggest letdown ever. West fucked it up spectacularly. Could have been the movie of the year. Still like it. Should have been, for me, better Showdown. Showdown should have great and more blood, simply more blood. Brujo, how do we get one of those German disc manufacturing machines to the USA and make money? It will stay here, right in Germany where it belongs, so that I can order from America a Paramount title and then I see in the back, made in Germany. So I know it had some voyage behind it. Admiral, I just convinced myself to buy that Luc Besson box for $250, but that doesn't matter. But that doesn't mean I buy every ridiculous release. It's easy to convince themselves of buying something like that. I can totally see that. Paul in Long Beach. Wait. Dieter owns multiple versions of Hunger Games. Is it just Jennifer Lawrence? It's a combination of liking the books, loving the movies, a combination. And of course, the problem that we got different studios distributing the movie differently, so you get different cover variations. That was the big problem. I wish it was only one company that would release the movie worldwide. LE, the Final Metamorphosis anime is so wide and varied, there's something for everyone. That is certainly true. Major Chai Chai, I'm very excited. An independent cinema house is opening in my town. Okay, fingers crossed that theater can keep afloat, considering independent stuff. Gordon Waddell, Dietz, any plans for Oktoberfest? Actually, not particularly, but it comes October the 3rd, which is, of course, the day of the German coming together. And every year, one town has to make some festival of it. And actually, it is in Saarbrücken this coming weekend. Jimmy J. Jackson says, God, I love the show. I hope he means our show. Brujo, Dieter, if I wasn't, even if that wasn't the order in the box, considering the blaxploitation box that Max dived into last week, Brujo, Dieter, even if that wasn't the order in the box, I'd start with Pam Grier too. We're just innocent men. Cult Cinema 83. Rob, Max, and Dieter tried to get me into both blaxploitation and film noir, but I ended up on the noir spectrum. I think blaxploitation is just not my cup of tea. I don't know when we came to talk about dogs, but I just found this statement funny. Brujo, love huskies, the body of a wolf, the brain of a toddler, and the voice of a Korean karaoke bar at 2 a.m. playing 24/7. Cult Cinema says, I would love to have a dog, but I'm single and I can't leave a dog alone at home for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. Totally correct, Cult Cinema. Gordon Waddell, considering what is going on in the world, but he says, no more politics, guys. This is Let's Get Physical Media. Then Diane Seaburn, I know I feel more at home with people in the chat than at works. Then Diane, you are at the right place.
This is definitely the right place for you.
Yeah. Considering when Max gives us all the insights and Rob shows all our 3 cameras. Memphis Kane, Dieter, are you just playing a loop video of yourself while doing other things during those segments? Memphis Kane, that's actually a pretty good idea. Let me see if I can loop something to that. Wait a minute. And Diane Seaborn says, Deeds look like Mauler when S and Gary talk about comics. I hope that's a good thing. Okay, this was this. Dieter, where do you live? Ich war in Deutschland. I was in Germany for 2 years, like Rob always starts at the beginning.
Saarbrücken, Deutschland.
Richtig, Rob. Saarbrücken, Deutschland. And I have to correct a little bit myself, Rob, because I said that Saarland, just a county, and Saarbrücken is the capital of Saarland, is the smallest county in Germany, which is true and not true because we have some city-states. We have Berlin, Hamburg, and Bremen, which are city-states. But considering area states, Saarland is the smallest. But we have some city-states, which, when you say we have 16 states, Saarland is not the smallest. When it comes to area, yes. Dr. Sleep says, hi, Dieter. I was just in Berlin over the past week. Always a great place to visit. Agreed. Glad I avoided the cyber hack, though. Right. Castle Grayskull. Dieter was thinking of me. Every day, every hour, every minute, every second. Castle Grayskull.
I mean, that's the way Grace is. You think about her all the time.
Yeah. And once again, I'm missing the context. The final metamorphosis says, is it a fun movie? It could be about African Kung Fu Nazis again, on some degree. Yeah, certainly is. Kelvin Wellborn says, I thought German releases were numbered 666. Diane Seaborn, I bought The Private Life of Sherlock Holmes on Laserdisc. No player, just wanted it. Diane, you are right here where you belong.
You're right.
Buying software was always my go-to move with every actually new hardware. I always had software first before hardware came in. But even buying a cool Laserdisc without having a player, totally get it. That's Play-Doh. Awesome that Rob knows this detail off the top of your head. And yeah, that was something that always was fascinated by, that Rob knows so many stuff. If you would ask me about anything about Gundam, I couldn't help you out on that topic. And that
well,
is
the thing is, if I could monetize all this weird knowledge, you know.
Yeah. But this was always good. Because I always remember back in the day when Rob started, that little small, even more independent set where I did my first super chat and I thought, okay, this guy knows only about Star Trek. I was like, this guy, I only knows about Star Trek. Let's get him a super chat. And I asked him if he knew about the movie One Cut of the Dead. And of course, Rob knew about One Cut of the Dead. What can I tell you? No.
And now
this was actually my first super chat that I ever
There's a French remake now of One Cut of the Dead. The world has changed, Dieter.
The world has changed, certainly. Michel D. Warner Archive needs to start putting everything out on 4K. Not buying Blu-ray in 2025. Gordon Waddell.
Well,
want a box
hang
set
on.
of Air-
I'd like to
Yeah,
answer.
okay.
I would like to answer that.
Yeah.
I agree with you, but the thing is, 4K is a niche market, as you can see from today's. Well, this is a good one. UHD is up to 23% on this week because
we have 50%, but 50% still DVD. It's insane.
yeah, but I mean, the thing about Warner Archive is they're already so niche that their Blu-ray discs with the high bit rates, they look incredible.
Yeah,
And
certainly.
to spend the extra money for HDR and Dolby Vision, they're just as much as I love my Warner Archive stuff, I mean, I just don't see them doing I Died 1,000 Times in 4K. They can't justify the expense. But I will say this,
Correct.
as anyone knows, with a great Blu-ray player and a great screen,
And if the transfer is done nicely, Rob,
the transfers
totally happy.
they're incredible. They're incredible. And we're just I Died 1,000 Times, which I haven't seen. We're never going to get this movie in 4K. There's no economic model that would allow this to get transferred to 4K.
It needs to be the big titles that you know.
Yeah, I mean, when
that
they
would
put
be
out
selling.
Warner Archive has only done 3 4K titles. They've done The Searchers, they've done High Society, and they've done Get Carter. And those movies all have historical significance, and of course, The Searchers sold really well for them. So, look, Blu-ray is still a terrific format. It's a terrific format.
And if you've done a great new transfer with it, especially you showed the Shaw Brothers box set. If I get those movies or the Hong Kong stuff as a fine Blu-ray, I'm totally fine with it.
Yeah, and the actual materials of those movies, they just weren't kept the way they were made. They're just they don't have the technical.
They were done quickly, Rob.
Quickly and done. They weren't kept the way ours. Big Hollywood movies were. So,
Gordon Liddell, I want a box of Airplane and Airplane 2. Actually, there was. I hope you're thinking of a 4K box, but there actually was, I think, a set in the States, which contains Airplane and Airplane 2. Mr. Gonzalez asked, do you buy them from Warner Archives or other places? So I bought the Joneses and the Warner Archives from Amazon. I don't know. Rob gets the stuff sent from George, I would assume.
Yeah.
So, but you can order it from Warner Archive themselves, Rob? Do they have a website?
Yeah, you can. It's you can go to just look up Warner Archive. There is a website at warnerbrothers.com. Collections and Warner Archive is there.
Okay.
I don't know how up to date it is.
Yeah.
But they do have a lot of that stuff, or just go to Amazon. But it can be hard to find. I mean, it really can be hard to find.
Yeah. But at least Rob shows us what come out or what will be available. And Rob showed the title last week, which I'm looking forward to see at some point too. Mr. Gonzalez, I love Aztec Batman. Nice. Huck's Pop Culture Cafe. Rob, I have been dying for Warner Archive to release Mosquito Coast on Blu-ray. Shocking, it's only.
Oh, I have talked to George Feltenstein about this for a long time. They know it. I think there might be a rights issue. I want to say is Mosquito Coast a Saul Zaentz production. There might be some dual rights issues.
Okay.
Same with movies like Lady Hawk. So that can be an issue. I mean, obviously, there's another movie that it hasn't been announced yet. I don't know if I'm telling tales out of school, but nobody cares about this in particular. I care. My friend Dave Hargroves cares. The Butcher Boy, which is an incredible movie. Another Warner Brothers title that has kind of fallen into obscurity is being resurrected by a company. I can't say which company, but it is coming out. So I would imagine eventually will work out. Like I thought Warner Brothers, we've talked about the fact that Warner Brothers has made deals with Criterion, Shout, and Arrow to put out a lot of films. And when I saw the list of films, or when I heard the list of films that's coming out, I was very, very excited. The two films that, well, I knew about Mosquito Coast, but Contact and Lady Hawk were not on those lists. And neither was Superman Returns. I would love to see Arrow do Superman Returns. And Arrow, if you're listening, I've got thousands of hours of special features no one's ever seen that I'm happy to, for a small price, I'm happy to make for you. But I would love to see, and also Bryan Singer has expressed a desire to release, since Superman has done multiple releases in terms of there's the TV version, there's the Donner version, and they've done the Donner cut of Superman 2. I think doing the Friends and Family cut of Superman Returns, which is a half an hour longer, would be something of great value. So let's hope Arrow will decide to do that. We'll see. But the stuff's coming out. But Contact and Lady Hawk is a dual rights thing, and Contact has been a staple of Warner Home Video for a long time. I just think it's because no one fucking knows anything about what that movie is. I don't understand, but whatever. I'd love to get it in 4K. So please, somebody.
I remember using Contact Drop from the DVD days. The first time she travels. Just to show off your.
Oh my God! Incredible! It was a demo disc. It was so great to get that. It was in one of those first, like the weird with the plastic flap, the snapper case. I mean,
yeah. And you can fold out. They had a nice scene selection on one of the
back.
Sides. Yeah, very nice. Yeah. Rob showed last week, of course, the Krull Steelbook. Gordon Waddell, I have Krull. Why? I don't know. Huck's Pop Culture Cafe. Krull was bad even when I was a kid, and I had very low standards. Waiting for mine. Considering I showed the cat, and I told Rob if you put it in a Code A player, you get the Code A version, which is uncensored. If you have it in a Code B player, it shows, of course, the UK version, which is a little bit censored considering the animal stuff that's in it. Mr. Gonzalez asks, will it work in a PS5? It certainly would, but considering where do you live, what kind of PS5 you have. If you live in the States, you have a Code A PS5, so it plays the uncensored version. The Metamorphosis, Code A, is that Region 1? Region 1 was back from the DVD days. Now we have the letters. I would say, Region 1 is the same as Code A. Albedal, once again, like he said already, I struggled with Luc Besson's set, but I decided today that I must have this. I can see why. And Rob last week showed in the news section, don't remember the title, the movie that features Gary Busey in the attic. And the final Metamorphosis said, is it pre-Gary Busey or post-Gary Busey? And Blazing Asian says, considering I did a live chat, but my volume once again, we and our audio stuff was turned off. Blazing Asian, we still love you, Dieter. Rob sabotaged you. And the final Metamorphosis says, just repeat everything you said, this time with passion. Walter Whitewalker, or maybe there was a German speech tariff that wasn't paid. And Gordon Waddell says, RMB really hates the live chat. He didn't hit that button by mistake. Secular Monk, I will never understand the whole sleeve thing that I do. But like I said, something like Red Sonja doesn't need to take up this kind of space. Walter Whitewalker, wow, so Dieter was actually working during the East and West Germany era. Yeah, thanks, Walter. Did you think that I look so young that I wasn't even alive when we were apart? And Walter Whitewalker says, bring Dieter on Cambia. No, because then I would have to say to John, even subjectivity has its limits. No, this was the live chat readout from last week.
Well, that's a fantastic readout. It was, my friend. So let's see. We got some people who've written in. Let's see what's. Let me jump on over to special features, to super chats and things like that.
You're all about the special features.
So here we go. Let me just look. Why is it so difficult for me? Why am I having such a hard time? Where am I at? What's going on?
Thomas Logan, I think, was the last one.
Yeah, no, there's I don't know. Off today. As much as I'm trying to stay focused, Dietz. Yeah. But sometimes it's hard. My mind is swimming. Yeah. Black Adder, not I, says I couldn't find the Criterion edition of Nightmare Alley today. So how does the original film compare? I will probably have no difficulty finding Megan 2.0 tomorrow, though. I don't know. There's a lot of people. I
Megan
keep
2.0.
seeing a lot about Megan
That's what-
2.0 on the interwebs. People are talking about. I saw on some of the forums. There's like 3 different versions of it that people were buying. I'm like, really? Megan 2.0? Is that your jam? Far be it for me
Yeah.
to.
Nice luck, Rob.
I never want to put anyone down. I mean, it's funny. It's funny. It's not. I don't know if it's funny or not. I don't know why I'm saying that. It's just a way to speak. I should not open my mouth unless I have something good to say. But the original Nightmare Alley is kind of very different from Guillermo del Toro's very stylish version. I don't know if I like one better than the other. I think Guillermo del Toro's version is great, but sometimes I think Guillermo, like, give me Kronos and give me Blade 2 and give me Pacific Rim, give me Pan's Labyrinth and The Devil's Backbone, but sometimes he loses. Like Crimson Peak and Nightmare Alley were not my favorites of his movies. So I maybe your mileage may
Perhaps
vary.
too polished. Perhaps too polished.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know, man. It's just different. It's a different.
Yeah.
It's just
But
different.
the Nightmare Alley from Criterion from Guillermo will, I think, contain a black and white cut of the movie.
Yeah. So, but I haven't compared and contrasted them, so that would be an interesting thing. I don't know why. Did you go to the Criterion website? Maybe they would have it. Maybe they're just sold out of it.
Okay.
They'll probably repress it.
Yeah, certainly.
Blackadder, not I, says, what do you both think of The Living Dead at the Manchester Morgue? Or it's called, yes, as he says, I believe it might be called Let Sleeping Corpses Lie in the U.S. Yes, it is. I love that film. I mean, I own it. I've owned it, and there's been so many different versions. I remember the first time I bought it, it came in the tin from, was it
Well, Anchor Bay?
Elite? Oh, Anchor Bay. Yeah, it came in the Anchor Bay tin.
Okay. Wait.
Like Repo
tin,
Man did.
yeah.
That was the first time I had
Correct.
those.
Hellraiser.
That
tin.
everybody used those for their pot, their weed. Before weed was legal, those tins were used to keep your weed dry. But yeah, I think the last time I bought it was from Synapse in that really cool steelbook. So I like that movie a lot. I think it's it's post Night of the Living Dead, early 70s, but it's good. I like it. I enjoy it. So, yeah. Stub McShave says that pie chart of the sold physical media is units sold. That means that people probably spend most dollars on UHD since it's more than twice the price of DVD.
Certainly.
That could be.
Yeah.
Could be. That's true. That makes sense.
I
But
think
I don't
probably
know if it's,
more even triple the price.
But if it
of
is,
the
if it's sold physical media, units sold, it's on a Let's look at that pie chart.
Yeah.
It's not based on price though. It's based on units sold. So if you look at that, you've got the units sold 49.4%. I would assume these are units sold, meaning
So
each.
when it's just the units, the price doesn't factor in. I would say.
No. So the price wouldn't be a factor. It says percentage share of units sold.
Yeah.
So that would be the units sold would be a total of DVD, Blu-ray, and UHD, and you see a breakdown of how many units were sold. And but DVD is a lot cheaper, as Stubble said, so that's probably why. Plus, a lot of TV shows, which people like to buy, TV shows are mostly DVD now. A lot of them never make it to Blu-ray.
Correct. That's right. And
So
people
that's
love to own their favorite series.
Yeah. Alvaro Zino Samaro says TNG turns 38 today. Star Trek The Next Generation turns 38. I did not mention that today. But Alvaro is, and it first aired on September 28th, 1987. Let's celebrate Rob's special features. Let's do that. Dieter, we should celebrate my special features. No, of course, I didn't realize today was the 38th birthday of The Next Generation. It opened first. It was in syndication, so it didn't air the same day all around the country. And I know this because a friend of mine lived in LA, and it aired like 3 days earlier in LA than it was in Washington State. And I made him videotape the premiere episode and send it to my college. And I hosted at the Evergreen State College in September. The new school year had just begun. and I set up at the bottom of a dorm. We had there were like these 3 pylons with multiple TVs in each pylon. I daisy-chained them all together, and we had a Washington State premiere of Next Generation in 87, and this tape just kept getting played and rewound for like 24 hours till the entire college saw the Next Generation for the first time. Encountered Farpoint, Dorothy Fontana, and Gene Roddenberry. So very exciting. Wow, 38 years ago. But yes, if you get the Blu-rays or you get the Picard box set, Roger Lay and I and his company, Urban Archipelago Films, we spent years of our lives making those documentaries, and we're very proud of them. So not only did we do the Next Generation, but we did individual discs for 5 of the 2-parters cut into one movie that we did more special features for, and we did Enterprise at the same time. So get those. The episodes look fantastic. They were not remastered in 4K, but they were native 2K remasters, so they look fan-fucking-tastic. And if you like Star Trek The Next Generation, I highly recommend getting our Blu-rays because, well, they're great, if I do say so myself. Yeah. Tom Jr. Jackson says, Rob, your thoughts on the AI Stan Lee that was at LA Comic-Con. Have you seen that video yet? So for those of you who don't know, they have created an AI Stan Lee hologram in life size, and he speaks he sounds exactly like Stan Lee. And, I mean, this is the future. Historical figures are going to be recreated in AI, and they'll be pumping in quotes. The problem that I have with all of this AI technology is human history, unless there's an effort to preserve it, is going to be completely perverted by bad actors who want to change history. Orwell, Aldous Huxley, many science fiction writers, a lot of not just science fiction writers, but writers in general, warned us about this. We are now in an era where we will be able to watch AI recreations of Che Guevara, Hitler, Gandhi. I mean, there'll be you name it. Whatever historical figure, they'll be able to do recreations of these historical figures as long as photographic evidence, they can make it, or whatever, any figure, and they'll be able to put, if we have recordings of their voices, they'll be able to make them sound exactly the way they sounded, and you can put any words you want. And I think that's fine, I guess. I mean, the real problem is preserving history. I don't have such a problem with AI recreations of human beings as long as there's an effort made to keep what these AI representations say is actually based on their actual words. And we have actual historical figures that, like Winston Churchill wrote a 5-volume history of World War II. We have his words. And if you want to take that 5-volume history of World War II and insert it into a hologram of Winston Churchill, I don't have a problem with that. I think it'll help people learn. The problem is human beings will start to twist around what these historical figures actually said, and no one's going to know what's real and what's not anymore, and our history will cease to exist. And everybody, because we have proven, mankind has proven, especially over the last, I would say, we've always been hideous, but I think there's a real effort to obfuscate the truth. I don't quite understand why. There's nothing wrong with the truth. It is what it is. But everybody wants to suddenly change historical narratives to bend them to their will, which I understand. But so the Stan Lee AI, what do you think, Dieter? Recreating a fan favorite character like Stan Lee, in a hologram form, and he's talking like Stan Lee.
Was it just for the Comic-Con?
Well, yeah, they displayed it at Comic-Con, but they'll probably use it other places. Like, why don't we get a holographic?
So you can actually have more cameos with Stan Lee if you want.
Well, yeah, they'll do that too. And I think that here's my problem with all this. I understand people's efforts, but human life is finite. And the idea that what makes human life precious is the fact that it doesn't last forever. And I get everybody's idea to create holograms of people that are long dead, but there's something, I don't know, there's something diminishing about that idea. I get where it comes from, but to make representations of people that are going to speak in their own voices that can have any words put into their mouths by people that aren't them seems disingenuous somehow. But that could be, I'm an old fuddy-duddy. Who knows? Kids today aren't going to care.
I told you, Rob, I told you it's on its way because I'm interested in that Swedish movie, Watch the Skies, where it says you have an English dub done by AI. And considering how big German dubbing here, what kind of tradition it has, and now you could do a dubbing just through AI, considering even the Netflix shows that they have, with different dubbing versions, and now you could do that probably with AI. But I'm curious about the movie. Watch the Skies, I think is the title.
Yeah, I mean, and look, the technology, the real question, you go back to the Ian Malcolm axiom: just because you could doesn't mean that you should. And the problem is, look, we are willing to sacrifice everything, our history, reality, truth, at the altar of capitalism, at the altar of profit, which I understand. I get that. And maybe is it important to preserve history? I think it is, because those who do not learn from history are doomed to repeat it. But I think there's something creepy when you can, we're going to start watching recreations of the Beatles playing songs they've never made, AI-generated Beatles songs, and you'll be, I don't want to watch that. I don't want to live in that world. I don't want to, that's not authentic. You can AI generate all these sound-alike Beatles songs that you want, but it's not going to actually be the Beatles. But you know what?
And like you said, Rob, authenticity is the currency, actually.
Yeah, and we're going to grow up in a world where kids just don't care. What really matters, the history is written by it's not just written by the winners, it's written by what human beings at the time think is important to preserve. And I think right now we live in a deeply non-intellectual time. And I don't think actual reality matters to anyone, because people are all living, it's my truth. We're living in this world of that's ridiculous, because you're not smart enough to have your own truth. Unless you're a fucking Rhodes Scholar with a IQ above 175, who are you to talk about your truth? You don't know what your truth is. You don't know what my truth is. You don't know what any truth is. So don't tell me about your truth. And this idea that we've made that something, well, it's not the idea that people even are dealing with the idea of your truth or my truth or their truth. What about the truth? Ultimately, drill down far enough, there's one truth. Your truth doesn't matter fuck all to me, because your truth is ill-considered and you haven't considered my truth, or you haven't considered the truth, you've only considered your truth. And everyone's like, well, words are violence, and this blah, blah, blah. Fuck out. It's so, I hate it. So we're I would say 2007 was where real social media began. 2012 is when it trickled down to young people and everyone had a cell phone. We are living through probably the first time in our own history where human beings don't even know what anything actually is. And they don't seem to be interested in finding out. The real truth is, do we still deserve to be here? That's the real question.
Hope so.
Well, I hope at least until I die, then I won't care. But I hope somebody takes over my physical media. But no one's asking those questions. And I would say this: are we being good custodians of the planet that gave rise to us? Are we being good custodians of each other? Are Americans being good custodians of one another? I'd say no. It's not even political. It's. I mean, if you were to ask, let's assume that 3i, whatever the fuck that thing that's traveling through the galaxy or the solar system right now, if we were judged by an alien race, if the Dark Forest theory is true, and aliens showed up, if the Trisolarans or the Santi showed up now and were judging us, we wouldn't come off on the better end of the spectrum, And I would everybody should go to YouTube and watch a mid-'80s Twilight Zone. It's only 10 minutes long, and it's the effects are cheesy, but it's only 10 minutes long. Look up Twilight Zone or 1980 Twilight Zone and look up an episode called The Small Talent for War. Look that up. It's only 10 minutes. It's a hoot.
But I hope when the aliens come up, they at least pull out Galaxy Quest so they have the actual historical documents.
Yeah, the actual story, yes. Yeah. Well, there you go.
Okay.
I think we're done.
Yeah.
Oh no, Thomas Logan.
No. Okay.
Paul Thomas Anderson's epic spectacle, one battle after another.
Yeah.
Despite its 3 hours in full, 143-1, 1570 IMAX, fails to dethrone Sinners. Coogler's coming for Oscar gold. Well,
Okay.
we'll see. I mean, obviously,
Let's see about it.
I just like people are talking about a movie that it's become a bit of a zeitgeist moment. There's a lot of politicians or a lot of political pundits weighing in on what one battle after another means. I like people talking about a movie. I like seeing that it's a cultural inflection point, at least for some people. So that's exciting. I mean, I don't think about movies in terms of who needs to win the Oscar or not, but so I loved Sinners. But
Thomas is deep into the Oscars.
Yeah, no,
already.
he is. It'll be interesting to see where it goes. I haven't seen it yet. I'm seeing it tomorrow. But
Yeah.
So that ends us. We are at the end of our
Ends our
journey.
So, from my end, jede Person, die du triffst, hat eine Geschichte zu erzählen, die du noch zu hören hast. Alles, was du tun musst, ist zuhören. And don't forget, people, even subjectivity has its limits.
Every person you meet has a story to tell that you have yet to hear, and all you have to do is listen. And with that, I would say to everyone, have a better day. And I want to thank everybody, Tom Jr. Jackson, Darth Plato, our moderating staff. I want to thank everybody who continues to support this channel via Super Chats and tips. Thank you very much. And memberships. Hopefully we'll have a membership call next week. It's good to be back. I will be doing Observations tonight and tomorrow and Tuesday. I'll be back on the John Campea show tomorrow. All is right with the world, sort of. But not really. Hey, troops are going to battle in Portland. The battle for Portland continues, or is, I mean, wow, does our do we what a wacky time we live in. We'll see. We'll see what's going to happen. What a monumental
quiet week.
Yeah, I'd love a quiet week. I'd love to read the news and be uplifted just once, but that really hasn't happened.
Drink some tea, Rob.
I'm going to do that. I will be drinking tea.
For your voice.
Yeah.
So,
and on that note,
people,
Dietz, we'll be back next week.
We'll see you next week.
All right, everyone. We'll see you later. All right, we're out.
Okay, nicely done.